Good morning. Good morning. This is Mr. M, also known as JahLogic. You're watching the Morning Rant. And this is my co-host for the day, VeeSmilez, Mia, and Schoolboy. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
And
Good
your
morning.
mic is muted, me.
Oh, all I said was what up.
So Lord Vel says, about time, let's go. Lord Vel, would you hate on Monday? This is actually the second episode of season 3. But I'm glad you're here, good brother. Salute to you. And with that being said, we have a few topics we want to go on. We usually do stories, but today we want to do like a topic. As you see, the topic is, let me put it on the screen. Is the black woman over sexualized and or misjudged? So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to kind of shoot the shit about an actual topic instead of just going on the news today. Aki Betha says, Subu to the gang this morning. Well, salute to you. Salute to you, blood cuz. um, but with that being said, before we get into that topic of the day and why we led to that topic, I'm gonna let Mia start with some information, some motivational in quotes in the morning. So Mia, take it away.
Good morning, everyone. So, second round of information. And if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So, today's information is if not, the boats only sink when the stuff on the outside gets in. So as you're going through your day, when's the last time you told yourself you love yourself or you're proud of yourself or you adore yourself? Um, there's so many things that we actually take in from the outside that make us so toxic, which is an overused word, and that we forget who we are from within. So be kind to yourself, say nice things to yourself, and making sure all that nasty stuff on the outside is not getting inside so you won't sink and sell. Look, that's it. I'm still here. Any questions? Logic, I'm done. You muted, Logic.
Yeah, see, there we go. I said, yeah, thank you for that. And V was clapping for you. Anybody have anything to say on that behalf while I get this other video pulled up?
Quick note on that behalf. I appreciate you saying that. I was having a conversation with a gentleman last night, a gentleman who calls himself trying to pursue me, but is still entangled with a woman who is older than him. And I told him, I said, you can only allow these things to affect you if you choose to have that mindset to do it. Like you can't allow people to steal your joy. I'm like, yo, your anger is so cheap. You know what I'm saying? You give your anger away to people who don't even matter. Like if people could buy your anger that easily, then what does that mean for you? You know what I'm saying? So for me, I completely understand that. I was just talking about that type of thinking, and trying to, get people to get in the mindset of, hey, don't allow things to affect you. Don't allow things to stop your course. Don't allow things to interrupt what you're trying to grow and what you're trying to do. That's how you fuck up. So in the morning.
1000%. Shout out to you. Shout out to Alignment over here.
Yes,
from all the way from Brooklyn to Harlem.
There we go. Absolutely. It's important. It is important.
So V, I noticed that you're pretty chill. You know what I'm saying? Most times, pretty much almost all the time. What allows you to keep that medi?
The mindset?
Yeah.
Especially with now more than ever, I have no choice but to have that. It's either you allow that mindset to sink in and you fail and you get into a fucked up place, or you do what you need to do to get to where you be at. It's all about your comfort level zone. Some people, I used to look at homeless people when I was younger, and I used to be envious of them. I'm like, yo, these niggas ain't got no rent. They just don't do shit all day. They just out here on the street, just walking around. This is some fucking bullshit. I gotta go to work. Like, I used to be tight. But then I said to myself, that comfort, that level of living is okay for them. It's perfectly fine. They enjoy living in a cardboard box in the corner. I don't want to be that. I don't want to roll over and try to find a place to wash my ass. Like, I don't. So I know I have to go to work, do what I need to do to, create the lifestyle that I want to live. So I really think it's about a choice. And like Mimi said, like, you can't allow these things in. You can't allow these things to affect you. Even having these things come in is a choice. I mean, obviously, things to happen throughout the day. Somebody may say some shit that make you feel some kind of way, but it depends on how long you let it sit there. You keep pondering that shit all day, yeah, it's gonna affect you. But if you let it come in and then you push that shit back out and put some more positive shit in, it'll
Right.
end up great.
It take a lot to get you mad. I notice.
It should, but that should be for everybody. And it's crazy as a society, as we're growing and growing, people's anger is cheaper. People's anger is easier. Like, yo, the fucking white couple with the snow, really? You gotta take somebody down for some fucking snow? Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
For the record, that shit was hilarious.
Well, the couple that got gunned down, you talking about, correct?
Yeah. I think the guy was like, they must have had some ongoing dispute about the snow, and the guy was like, I guess, you know what it was? He called the guy who shot him a punk. He was like, "You punk?" Yeah, and the guy was like, "Oh, really?" He ran back up in the house and came out with was it the shotty first? Nah.
He went and got 2 guns. Like, didn't he shoot and then he went back and he got another gun?
Yeah, I think he shot him with a handgun first and then came back with the shotty to finish it off. He was like, yeah, you should have kept your mouth shut, huh? And then went in the house and killed himself. So, he was having a bad day, and his neighbors had to pay the price.
You know what? That's a great example you brought up, V, and they all fell victim in that scenario. You know what I'm saying? Like, every last one of them let their anger get to them. You feel me? And Laura Bell says, "What about white on white crime?" But the thing with that is the thing that particular story rang true to me was that you never know what someone's going through. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you may be, you know what I'm saying? You may be ready to take it there, but you don't really know where that other person is willing to take it. And you just never know what someone's going through when you're pressing them about anything, right? So, you got to take it easy when dealing with, especially the general public. You feel me? You walking by total strangers that could be going through anything. So, that.
I was just gonna say the other day, it's a lot of snow and stuff. I had to take a little detour. I ended up on a little side road, and there was this older guy, maybe in his 50s or 60s, walking a Chihuahua down the street, and I'm just cruising, and he was like, looked at me with that fire in his eyes. He's like, slow down. And as I got close to him, like I could tell he was calling me an asshole, and I was like, you know what? I just got to take that shit because at least he didn't call me an N-word. And really, I could have just hit him with my car, and nobody would have ever knew. So I think everybody won this morning. I didn't slow down. You got it off your chest, and I got home. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Everything don't deserve a response. Mills Lane says that's wild. That is wild. You know what I mean? But I know for me personally, and I was just talking to a friend about this. Like, I feel like people. I don't like to get crazy. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to bark on people, but I feel like when I do, people think I enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? That's one attribute to it. And then on the other, people think it's funny. Like they think it's entertaining. You know what I'm saying? When you're upset. So they kind of like try to bring it out of you even more sometimes, right? But I used to get way more upset, especially before I had my first son. Well, my only son, right? But it's like something about dealing with a toddler that just makes you more patient. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody who knows me, who worked with me especially in my early 20s. I was a hog. You know what I'm saying? And I got shit done, but at the same time, I was real hard to deal with. You know what I'm saying? I was real difficult to deal with because I would let my anger get to me really quick. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I look at what matters now. I think having a child, I know it sounds cliche, but having a child makes me look at what really matters. You feel me? So,
a lot of people really say that shit, right? And you be like, I always take that with a grain of salt, right? Because people say that shit in public, but then in private, like you see them off, and their kids do something, they be like, yo, shut your ass up, right. Stuff like that, right? I call Logic. We talked the other day, and I was telling you, man, I'm like an old man. Like when I see somebody pull up and they be with that loud music shit, I'll be like, yo, turn that music down. Why does that music have to be so loud? Like, I don't want to hear the music in your car while I'm driving to the gas station. I'm that guy, right? I'll be pissed off, like genuinely pissed off about it. But yesterday I get on the phone and Logic's kid was like, Dad, like over, and Logic did not hear that. Like he heard it, but he was just like, all right, and just kept it pushing. and it was testing me. But Logic was cool. Logic was cool as hell about the situation. I'm thinking like, damn, you ain't gonna tell him like, chill, bro. Like you gonna call my name 50 times when you see me on the phone, bro. You know, but it didn't go down like that. Logic was just like, hey, kid, all right, go talk to your mom real quick, all right, and kept it pushing.
I was in Whole Foods last night, and this mother was pushing her toddler, having a full blown meltdown, like one of these in the strollers. Like I was overwhelmed. I just wanted to buy all, and she was just pushing, still looking at the rice, and like you don't want to be that person because I'm like, she feels bad that like this kid cannot control his emotions. He is just going in like, I don't give a fuck what you're doing right now, Chantel. Like, give me the goddamn animal crackers. Like, oh my god, it was rough for me. And if you are watching, I should have paid for your groceries. I should have done something nice for you because, yeah, birth control.
All right, now you're going too far. Let her own decisions, yeah.
Yep. And certain parents ain't
birth control for me. Like I was just like, I can wait. I can wait.
No, I be with my family members, and I be, sometimes my cousins, they'll leave the kids with me to watch them, and they well behaved. One is like 6 months, he doesn't do anything, and the other one is 2 years old, but she be jumping on them for like little shit. Like he look at the Skittles in the Family Dollar, she like, what the fuck is Skittles down? She run the project and shit like that, but I get it. I get why she like that at the same time, because you can't give kids no room. Like, no room. You can't. No, you ain't about to be out here acting crazy. You ain't about to be out here in the stroller showing your ass. No.
I wanted to cry.
Oh,
yeah.
gosh.
I don't know how we got on Tyler's, but that's real.
like Virginia said, toddlers will test every ounce of your temper, and to bring it all around, having a toddler, you know what I'm saying, has definitely helped me calm the fuck down. You know what I'm saying? And just, it also experience as well. You feel me? Like experience would do that too as well. But I think I got to the bottom of why the shit was so low, the video I was sharing. Hopefully it won't do that again. But Mac, Schoolboy, you'd be happy to know that I opened the new Mac. I opened the new box. You know what I'm saying? I sanitized that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Been sat in a box for a month.
But he finally bust that box wide open. Let's show love for this respectable box that waited to get bust wide open. Shout out to you, box.
We let show the Corona style for that shit. We was gonna say, V, your mic's muted.
I was gonna say that box was sitting there patiently waiting. It arrived. It was ready to be busted wide open, as Mimi F Baby says.
Hey,
you was teasing a box, walking past it in the house, and just didn't think it was about to be open. It was just like, not today.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to a real nigga waiting to make sure she was clean to bust that box wide open.
It took a minute for it to even make it in the house, V. It stayed in the garage. You know what I'm saying? It stayed in the garage for a minute. Spook by the Door says parenting is a real thing. That's a fact. That's a fact. Virginia Sim said, did you wear gloves and a chem suit when you opened that joint? If I had a chem suit, I would have absolutely wore the chem suit and the gloves.
Please do not give Logic access to a chem suit. We need to stop all Amazon shipping to his crib. This nigga does not need a chem suit. Okay, we do not need that, Logic.
I'm here for a hazmat suit. I want Logic to have a hazmat suit. I want him to start coming on this show with a full-blown hazmat suit looking like a beekeeper. Like, I'm here for that.
Yeah, me too. I'm here for that shit too. Except my house is too clean, so I don't need it in here. But if we ever do something in the public before this shit get under control, maybe I might come in some type of hazmat suit. With that being said, V, do you want to introduce this video? Should we introduce it as a thought topic, or should we? I don't know. V, your mic is on mute. It's on Teddy Riley.
There we go. I would put it under a thought topic because even all thoughts want that ring one day. All thoughts want to be, chosen by the man of their dreams to get married to, So I think that it is still a thought topic, even though thoughts are not, because they're they're not in that current position to be where they want to be. But, thoughts they look up to that one day.
All right, so bet. So I'm gonna let you introduce the video after I introduce the segment.
Hello. Good morning, people. This is your girl Vanessa Smilez, and this is the Thought Topics report. Okay, and today we are reporting from the grandreport.com, where they had a discussion a little bit on in the chat room in regards to this viral video. I presume this video is in Africa. Not accurate because I didn't do that part of the research. But this video showing like basically where a man he's making that commitment. He's getting on that one knee and he's putting his knee down, and you know the reaction is not what you think it would normally be. So let's take a look. Yep, as you can see here, he has the ring in his hand. So he's waiting to put the ring on her hand, and this happens. Yep. He's still on the floor. He's still on the floor, ring in hand, knee on the floor. He's still, waiting to put the ring on her finger, and the video cuts off. So we don't even know if she ever let him put a ring on it.
Is it safe to say she was reacting to the ring?
Honestly, I just didn't think she would ever find a nigga to choose her. I think she's just completely shocked about this entire thing. Like to me, I don't think she ever expected this to happen. And honestly, like to act like that though, like think about it. Where should that man go from here? Like, I'm low-key upset at him too, because nigga, get up. Like, go put the ring back in the box, put the box back in your pocket. This is not the time. Take her somewhere else. This is not the time for you to just be acting a fool. Like, no. And I love what Mills Lane just said, because this is that is so hilarious, because that's exactly what she did. She's walking around acting all crazy. She, having the Holy Ghost. Like, boo, you're supposed to appreciate that someone is professing their love in the form of an engagement, in the form of a marriage, in the form of a commitment. Take it somewhat seriously. Like, it's like the actions that she had behind that was somewhat comical. Like, I don't really know if a woman who acted like that truly appreciated that gesture. So my question to you guys and the panel is, should he still get married? He, not her. This is not about her. This is about the man. We talk about him. Should he still get married to this woman?
Okay.
And would you still get married if your partner acted like that?
I'm gonna pass the mic to Schoolboy first and foremost. But I'm gonna read these comments really quick. Mills Lane says that ain't the Holy Ghost. She definitely looked possessed. Virginia Sims said, dude should put the ring back in his back I guess, pocket, and keep it moving. She on some other shit. And Spook that sat by the door says, it's over. The fuck is he kneeling for? And Lorville says, is that the Gorilla Goo girl acting up again? Nah. But Schoolboy, you go first. Your mic is on Teddy Riley, brother.
Yeah. She it's done for. Like, what the hell? Maybe if she always acts like that, but the way the other people were reacting, like, what the hell? Like, that makes me think that that's not necessarily normal for her. But for her to have that type of reaction to a marriage, I don't know. But you know what? That looked like it might have been one of those Caribbean countries or something. Like, I shouldn't say Caribbean countries, but it's what it is. There are countries in the Caribbean that they get down like that. They be, in the little school, and it looked kind of, like, damn, y'all just put this shit up yesterday. So, you know what I'm saying? That man was proposing to her. Was that with the Gucci suspenders on? He might have been the big man on campus. And she got a ring from that dude. She had to show out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But am I going to? No, I'm not going to marry her. Not going to marry her.
All right. Schoolboy throwing Afro-Caribbean countries under the bus.
Listen. My people from Antigua, so I'm throwing us under the bus here, okay?
Okay, as long as you know. The United Ronin Network says, good morning. Hello, folks. Good morning to you, big brother. Good morning to you. I gotta holler at you about some shit too. Look out for my chat. V, your question to us was, would we still get married, correct? Will we still get married? Fuck. It's hard to, I feel like in Schoolboy's defense, I feel like the location does matter because some people get a lot more animated. You know what I mean? Like in certain African countries and or Caribbean countries, people get animated, like really, really animated. You know what I'm saying? So maybe she was just being really animated, but you could definitely get up off your knee at that point. Like if she's going to run around the room and do her thing, and you know what I'm saying, he could definitely get up off his knee. You know what I'm saying? I would have to know her better to know what her reaction, what that meant, because she might be somebody that's super hype. You know what I'm saying? That just get hype over dumb shit. She might even be doing them dances where they stand on their head and you know what I mean? And their knees is all shaky. She might even be from that. Yeah, it go all crazy. She might even be from that tribe. So, you never know. You know what I'm saying? Like that just might be in her blood to get super crazy. She get lit. You know what I'm saying?
The description was on point. Go ahead, bro.
So if that's the case, then I would get off my knee and let her get it out of her system. But if she's, regularly on a regular calm and she just decided at this moment because she kind of pump fake putting the ring on. You know what I'm saying? Like she was about to put it on and then she jumped up.
She never put it on her. He never put the ring on her.
Facts,
he was just sitting there with the ring and she put her hand. Oh, you're right. She did pump fake a little bit because she lowered her hand close enough to the ring. And then the Holy Ghost just took over. Like, watch it now.
Like Mills Lane said, that ain't the Holy Ghost. She definitely was pump faking.
She was, because she put her hand out and then she kept pulling it back. Look. Okay. Where we going? You want to get married or not?
But see, my thing, I say this pretty often, is when in doubt, live without. You know what I'm saying? So, if I had any doubt that she was ready for that, then I'm taking the ring back, and we're gonna have to reevaluate this relationship. Spook that sat by the door said, "Do that again, V." And Lorville says, "Whoever was the camera sucks. We need to see what happened at the end." That's a fact.
Yo, if you look at that video, she almost hit her head on that table when she was doing all that crazy shit.
Yeah, like I feel like she was about to do do one of them dances.
Yo, but you know what the other part of this spectrum is? The other part of the spectrum is she got a man. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of women out here ain't got no man. You know what I'm saying? That could have been her. Damn, I just broke the generational curse. A nigga actually proposed to me before he put a baby up in me. Yes, I'm here for it.
No doubt. I think are you posing the question to women too? Can Mia answer that as well?
She said yeah. So you're mute. Go ahead.
I wanted to ask you the question. What do you think her appropriate reaction should have been, especially being in a crowd like that with all of those people? And also, I'm going to flip this. What happens if, as a man is proposing to you, telling you he loves you and why he wants to marry you, if he just starts crying, sobbing? Are you still married him? Like snot bubble.
Oh.
That's the polar opposite to the Holy Ghost.
Oh, why would
you
ask
two-part question? Two-part question.
Okay, so I feel like her reaction was the appropriate reaction because that was her honest response. So like that's just, it is what it is. It's over the top for me. And to also answer your question that you posed to the guys, I think like this is like hopefully they've done the work to get to the point where they've been engaged, where this is a moment. And so I think it would be unfair to be like, yo, like you can't marry her, this bitch is wild, because you should have already known, like through getting to know her, like her highs and lows. So yes, I still think they should get married. um Me seeing a guy, like maybe like a few tears is very sentimental, but I get secondhand embarrassment all the time. Like I'm not one of those girls that can like don't read me a poem in public. Like I just can't get down like that, or sing, or like sing me a song. Like, am I supposed to stare at you the whole time you singing like that? That kind of stuff just it irks me. Like I'm like, oh, this is cringeworthy. Like I don't, and then people are watching. I even think like being proposed, like I would prefer like something like really private and intimate for like I don't know if I want like the big show with everyone around as like they say their speech as to why they want to marry me, and like everyone's looking with their cameras. Like let's do that in private. Like one of my girlfriends, when she got proposed, I loved how her now husband did it. Like he did it in private, and then we went out, like he rented out like a private room for dinner, and then we were all there, so they got their moment, and then like we were pulled in once they had their time. But yeah, I personally don't want to see you like balling, and it's definitely not like big, but if it's just like one of these, like, man, I'm overwhelmed right now, cool, but nothing too big. And just to, I also want to respond to like Schoolboy's comment of like she could be breaking generational curses, or which can be the case, and like she may just be happy she got a man. That's cool. Those are probably true. It's just still this long running conversation of like marriage is an accomplishment. And I'm like, there's so many other things that women can accomplish, and marriage is a beautiful thing, but it's a mutual thing, and not just like for us to just be like, okay, now you got a man, like life now stops. Like this Valentine's Day, I went out on a date, and like my homeboy's like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm going out for Valentine's Day. And he goes, oh, congrats, like I just won a Grammy. And I'm like, are you happy I got picked? Like, what is, I don't get it. So marriage, marriage is a funny thing. Like I just think like we for women, we think that's like the ultimate thing you could do, be a wife and be a mother, but there are so many things and those are great things, but there are also so many things. It's not a fucking trophy, it's a life partnership.
Yo, women see marriage as an accomplishment, while men see marriage as a demolition.
It's a prison sentence.
Yeah, it's a prison sentence. They're like, oh,
not
I gotta marry this
bitch. Not with the right one. Marriage for a lot of men, like if we just look at the statistics, marriage is a 50-50, right? And then the person who really loses, and a lot of times is the man, because he's got to break off some of that fucking bread. Usually the woman's not doing that, regardless of the situation. Like everybody in Mary J. Blige, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times, dude got to give up alimony plus child support, and maybe even give up that house. Luckily for him, he'll have. Hopefully for him, he'll have the rest of his life in front of him to get that shit back. But like, you know what I'm saying? Now she got a boyfriend living in your house with your kids. They calling him stepdaddy and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's not cool. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? If a dude actually picks you to marry, like I think a woman should be overjoyed by that shit, because she just won the lottery. You know what I'm saying? I would be overjoyed if I was a woman I got married, because you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of women out here struggling. I'm just saying, they out here struggling.
Well, that's on you for picking a struggling ass woman. Like that's not fair. It's not
women are getting chose.
No, I get what you're saying, Schoolboy, because that is a reality. Marriage is not something in today's society that is as common as maybe it was in historic times.
It's common, but what's also common is that you're gonna get that divorce.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
No, like almost half the damn time. Not sometimes. That's like normal shit. You You know what I'm saying? Like
God.
half the time I walk outside and I stub my toe on the door.
I agree with
You know
Kelso.
what I'm saying?
Kelso
My
says,
toe
here
hurt.
we go with the black woman.
I have to go, guys. I love you guys. I will be back tomorrow. I could truly apologize. I do not want to leave, but I love you guys. Thank you guys for having me, and I will see y'all tomorrow on the morning rant.
All right, V. See you tomorrow.
All right.
You good
Bye.
All right. So I guess this question is for us. What if the woman got down on one knee? Schoolboy, I'll let you start.
Nah, bro. That's not. We're not doing that.
Yeah, that we're definitely not doing that.
Yeah, like what you now she gonna put the ring on your finger. You standing there looking awkward and stupid. Okay.
I'm married, and before I got married, my wife wasn't the type to like pressure me into marriage. Like I didn't have one of those situations that some dudes have where the woman is like, "Yo, when we get married" and all that type of shit. But she did at one point ask me like, "How did I feel about that?" You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't with that shit. Like you're just gonna have to wait until I ask you. You know what I'm saying? So that's some bullshit. Spook. That's
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
one.
before we get off of that.
Hold on. We don't. We can go right back to it. I'm just reading this comment.
Oh.
So that's why you get one on your level financially. All right, good point. Go ahead, Mimi. Your mic is on Teddy Riley.
My bad. I keep talking back and forth between muting and shit like that. But I went on a date with this guy a long time ago. We just ended up being great friends and we still talk. And he gave me this piece of advice that stuck with me. He's like, women, you guys need to learn how to just swim. Like when it comes to dating, like to push a man to do this and do that and he don't want to do that, you'll always end up with with what you don't really want to happen. It's not going to work out for you. So you have to learn to like just swim, and like there's like an element of like getting caught that you have to just embrace. And it was around the conversation of like marriage and commitment and going from like dating to exclusive boyfriend girlfriend type situations, and it stuck with me. And it's hard sometimes because you want to know, and like we're so ingrained with like this biological clock and this timeline, but like it don't work out if he can't. Like I've seen more success in my dating when I'm just like chilling, like asking no questions, like let's just hang out, let's do this, let's have fun. And then when he's ready to have the conversation, more than likely like I'm there. But yeah, I agree.
So would that be?
And I ain't getting down on one knee
All
for nobody.
All right, Spook. That's about the door. Said California women aggressive, y'all. I don't know. I mean, I got a lot of homegirls from California. I lived in California for a while. I don't know, but I'm from New York, right? So where women are truly aggressive. So I don't. The comparison maybe it didn't do it. They didn't strike me as aggressive because I feel like they were still more lax than women in New York. Just One Love says schoolboy crazy, and then she said Grand Rising, y'all. Grand Rising to you. Just One Love. Salute to you. So with all that being said, I do want to get to the topic at hand, but we can't double team Nia with this topic.
I can handle y'all.
All right. But anyway, with that being said, we're going to bring on Miss Ravioli. Miss Ravioli, good morning. The mic is on Teddy Riley.
Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Ravioli. Take that coffee cup or whatever that is out the shot. We I don't know I'm just calling it a coffee cup, but you got something like a whole.
Oh, this is
Mr.
the
Ravioli.
door to my cupboard.
Yeah, it looked like you in a hostage video. To be honest with you, just blink twice. We need help. Shit.
And Laurel says, "Nah, New York women are more aggressive." Yeah, there you go. Coming from New York, I wouldn't have noticed if California women, were aggressive or not. Virginia Sims says, "Mimi, not everyone has the patience to get chosen. They rather be doing the choosing." Yeah, but this women could choose up on you, right? But at the end of the day, when it comes to getting married, you know what I'm saying? That's where you got to draw the line. But Mimi, you want to answer? You want to respond to that?
Yeah, so there's an art to getting chose, and both players have to like take a stand. So, like for me, more than likely, girls to me will spot out a guy before they see them out,
Me on some
and
pimp
it's
shit.
up to like it's making myself the green light so to go. And like there's an art to it. Like it could be just from looking and smiling so he know like, yo, let me go over there to approach. Or complimenting like, yo, I like your shoes, and then starting up a conversation. And then it's up for him to like get my number. Like I'm not okay, so here are the answers to all the tests. Here's my number. Here's where I would like to go on a date. Here are those things. Like, no, but there's a way to like open the door to let him in to choose.
You want to elaborate?
On that,
Me? Oh.
Yeah.
um, I guess so. I mean, I'm not really trying to play those games anymore, so I just am going to be me unapologetically, and if it happens, it happens. Like I don't have time for games. I don't have time for the anything outside of what I want to do naturally. I'm not doing it.
Right. Right. And with that being said,
Why schoolboy looking like that?
with that being said, Spook that sat by the door says, I'm talking about South Central LA. My aunt, a boss, and got down on the knee, and they still married 30 years later. Well, you know what? It sounds like it's well into her personality. If she was doing that 30 years ago and they still had a healthy relationship, then maybe she was, your aunt was a queen pin in the streets of South Central. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it was just accepted from her. You feel me? And Virginia Sim says Mimi likes leaving breadcrumbs and leaves it up to the dudes to follow them.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so we're gonna get on this topic. And before we do that, I definitely want to bring on my dude Steph Got Jokes. He had a little technical difficulties early this morning, but he made it. What's good, brother?
What's going on, y'all, man? I'm happy to be here. Finally got the computer up cracking.
Yeah, man. That picture you sent me, that same shit happened to me the other day, man. I think we back in Mercury retrograde or whatever they call it.
Man, I don't know what it is. And even now, my y'all backgrounds is beautiful. This shit, hold on.
You gotta get. You probably gotta get some more light, man. That's what I had to do. I had to bust open the other light, man.
I
You know,
think it's
sit
too
back a
much
little
light.
bit.
I about to
Let's
say
sit
I think
back
it's
a
too
little
much
bit.
light. There you go.
There you go. There you go. There you go. You know what I'm saying? Steph, what's good, brother? You before we get on this topic, is there anything you wanted to bring to the table, or should we just get straight to it? You know what I
All right,
mean? Women here.
about the marriage thing. I've
Uh,
been watching the whole show.
yeah. Well, go ahead. Give us your update on what you've
All right,
seen, and we
all
can get
right. The first thing I wanted to address was when V was still on and she was talking about the homeless people, and this was a very misleading statement she made about homeless people looking for somewhere to bathe. Ma'am, homeless people are not looking to bathe. That is a that is a misleading statement. You should not be misinforming the people like that. And secondly,
what?
I,
Wait. Hold your
no,
thought.
they're not
Please
looking to
do
bathe.
not forget what you thought. Don't forget your thought. But you saying homeless people don't want to bathe? Is that what you just said?
They're not looking for it. They're not pressed up for it.
Yes, they are.
You know,
In Atlanta, they are. Maybe if they're black, they're looking for a place to bathe.
and I feel like,
Or melanin dominant.
Yeah,
yeah,
like the Atlanta homeless people got a lot of respect for themselves. They be like, "Yo, who are you looking at like that, nigga? Like, have some respect about yourself." You be like, "Damn, nigga, you asked me for a quarter. What's all this attitude coming from?"
I mean, I asked you what I ain't begging. God damn.
There's a whole organization down here that does like traveling showers.
yeah, they're in California as well.
Listen,
They're in
they don't do
California
it.
as well.
Listen. I'm telling you, there was a white dude walking down the street with his literally had the pants on so long his ass is showing. Like he's not trying to take a bath, man. He's not. He's not looking for a bath.
Keyword white, but I don't think that's all homeless people. I think that's a misconception. They're definitely homeless people that take care of
It,
themselves. Go ahead, go ahead.
it's also levels to homeless. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Second,
The marriage thing. I think it was a little dramatic how she act, how the girl reacted, but that's probably her personality, and
right,
he's probably expecting that. He knows what he's getting into.
right.
And that's the question that you posed to the men. Would you accept the? Nah, bro, that ain't happening.
You know what this shit needs.
It's just too feminine. What a nigga look like? Sitting there, wait, come on, man. I can't do it, bro.
I mean,
Even if I want the marriage, if I want to marry her, I couldn't do it. I'd be like, no, I'll do it.
right. Ms. Ravioli, would you propose to a dude if he wasn't an abuser and he was the man?
Nope. My father told me to never do that.
Good man. Good man. All right.
Steph said he gonna be like Jim Jones and tell Chrissy to get up. Like I'm with it too. It's like get up. I'll do it when I'm ready. They still ain't married. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm about to say he still ain't married her, so.
All right.
Seem happy.
So, with that being said, I wanted to wait till Schoolboy's back on the line, but I'm gonna introduce a couple things, and these stories are both going to be relate to each other, and not necessarily thought topics, but they go to the topic: all black women over sexualized and or misjudged, and that came to us from an article. So I'm gonna present that article, and I'm gonna present a couple more examples that are in the news right now, and then we're gonna just dive into it. Loravelle says, I was in the laundromat with a homeless man. I put 2 masks on because he smells so damn bad. But see, all right. I come from like family development, right? So there's a thing called the deficit approach, right? Where some people always looking for like what's wrong. So people who are like family workers or case managers, as they wrongfully call them, they might go into a situation and look at a person who's a client as just what's wrong with them. But when you are trained not to go that route, the deficit approach, you're trained to look at what's going right. So I say all that to say this. My response to that, Lovell, is he was in the laundromat, though. The man was taking the time to get his clothes clean. You feel me? So hopefully, upon him getting his clothes clean, he will find one of those traveling showers that Miss Ravioli spoke about, or just a place to shower in general. And he was on the way of, becoming clean. You know what I'm saying? So let's give that man the benefit of the doubt, because he obviously cared about his clothes being clean. So that's why I want.
JahLogic.
Yes.
We have homeless people down here that are, because people spend money at the laundromat, they will hang out at the laundromat. They are not washing clothes. They are just hanging out there to get money.
I love
Like we have regulars. There's a regular at JJ's Fish. She's a regular.
Speaking of JJ's, that hat you got on, Miss Ravioli, looks dynamite.
It's cold down here.
Yeah, apparently.
No, but to your point, Logic. You have to be careful with like generalizing or like painting the story, especially with like homelessness is a passion of mine, and like I know some of the homeless people around like my building, like, and I treat them like neighbors because technically they live next to me. It's just like our living is different, and like there's like this one lady I talk to anytime I see her, Ms. Rosemary. Like we have full on conversation. I've lived in this building for like almost 3 years now. Never has asked me for money. I'm always like, yo, you good? Like, I haven't seen, and when I say I haven't seen you in a while, like, is this nervousness? Like, I don't know, like, what happened to this? Like, she could be dead. Like, she out in the cold, it's snowing. And they have stories. They have, and not everything wasn't like a drug story. Everybody doesn't want money, and like, they have joy. They have real joy. So I know we like joking on it, but like, so it's just once you get into that system, it's hard to get out of it. So, shout out to him for washing his clothes and trying to figure out where these traveling showers are.
Well, Lovell said, ain't no traveling showers in Nashville, Tennessee. He was just using the free Wi-Fi. Well, if he was using the free Wi-Fi, then hopefully, the man was maybe looking for a shelter. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to choose to try to see, I'm going to try to see something good in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to see something good in it.
Wait, I have been homeless.
Say it again?
I've been homeless, And everybody, well, attorneys were saying that I didn't look like I was homeless, and I've
Miss
been thinking
Ravioli.
about that ever since Steph said he thought I lived in my car.
I thought I thought you was homeless, Miss Ravioli.
I
I'm
was
not gonna
like,
lie to you.
maybe I'm just super comfortable in the car. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why he thought that. I don't know,
Salute.
but yeah,
Go ahead, Ms. Ravioli. Yeah, that's a good point. That, like, it's not just that you can't just paint one picture on homelessness. You know what I mean? But Miss Ravioli, there are some comments for you. And salute to Miss Ravioli playing in the street in traffic the other day on Instagram.
I
Playing,
was not. I was
yo,
not playing in the street.
Miss Ravioli was playing in traffic, recording a truck crash.
There
Wow.
were 44,000 pounds of sinks and toilets in that truck. That's why it was leaning so long.
Ask her how
They
she
could.
knows. Ask her how she knows that. She got out the car to go record that shit. Anyway, Virginia Slim says Miss Ravioli looks like the bird lady from Home Alone with that hat on. Respectfully. And Just One Love says Miss Ravioli wearing Mumble's hat and jacket from Fat Albert.
I see it. I see it. Just one love.
And
Free
Love,
Bill Cosby.
oh, she said Free Bill Cosby. That's interesting. And Laura Vell says no disrespect to Miss Ravioli, but I did think she was really homeless. I think I think people thought that just because you always were in the car, and it just was a little odd that you were just doing your show from the car. You know what I mean? But I thought it was very hilarious when you decided to finally do your show, be on the show from home, and you decided to cover the light switch with some type of paper towel. That was pretty interesting. But enough about memory lane. I told myself I wouldn't read articles full on out anymore, but I'm going to read. I'm going to skim through this article that comes to us from YR.media. That's a website called YR.media. And this article is an opinion piece, and it's by a lady by the name of Kaylin Roan. And the title goes, Her Story Lies in Black Women's Bodies, Not Over Sexualization. And like the title, the article is all over the place. I'm going to skim through the article, but I'm going to read some of the quotes of the people that were quoted in the article, the women that were interviewed about this topic. So I'm going to read what the article is about. So they start off saying, for centuries, Black women have endlessly battled with society's critiques of how they should showcase their bodies as if it's something to put on display. Young Black girls are emerging into society where they are over-sexualized if they show the smallest bit of skin, forbidden if they do. Black girls will be deemed ungodly, attention-seeking, or derogatory terms by the nation and, unfortunately, even their own community. Then they go on to quote some of the young ladies that they interviewed, which I believe were all from the ages about like 18 to 21. And the first young lady by the name of, I'm just saying Miss Ferguson because I don't want to mess up her first name, says, I don't think I care to embrace my body fully on social media because I'm young. I'm a young Black woman with big dreams, said the 19-year-old from Margate, Florida. I've seen the repercussions Black women have faced for expressing themselves on social media. So I've always felt that I've needed to be extra conscious about my social media content. If you view my account, it's pretty modest in my opinion and nothing for a future employee to bring up in an interview. I just fear the potential repercussions that may occur if I decide to express myself like that. And if you ask me, that's a smart young lady. So they also quote a 20-year-old by the name of Rachel Walker from Atlanta. She says, I realize that being a Black woman, you are only celebrated when you are doing what society deems as acceptable. So stepping into your sexuality and gaining confidence in that tends to get negative responses, said Walker. I believe the society believes they have access to speak on Black women's everything without our permission. They are too comfortable disturbing us while we are simply being Black and being women. And she also goes on to say she thinks that this stems from the blatant disregard they have for their boundaries. Also, when they see Black men disrespect us, they see that even our own men could disrespect us. so why can't they do it? 21-year-old Aaron Griggs agrees that black women usually battle with loving their parents due to social media's antics. They call her by saying often some women struggle to gain that confidence to love themselves due to society's opinion of a perfect body. I feel like some women shy away from it because men tend to sexualize them or always have a comment, and social media plays a major role. Excuse me. And they also call us saying we have Instagram models / celebs that these young girls look up to them, and they start early to try to gain a body for validation and lose sight of their self-worth. Now, plot twists. They also quote a simp who said, named Mr. Barkley, 18-year-old, says, I think people can honestly either send uplifting comments and opinions or not say anything at all. At the end of the day, everyone is their own individual person and should be treated as such, said Barkley. If people scroll past something they disagree with that a black woman has posted, whether it be her body or her opinion, then hate comments would not be a thing. And black women can continue to be the queens that they are.
This nigga's Captain Obvious.
Happen. I called him a simp. With that being said,
I'm about to say, is that fair to call an 18-year-old who thinks bright side up a simp?
On this show,
it's a little unfair.
Yeah.
On this show, it's accurate. With that being said, there were two other stories I wanted to bring to the light that I think definitely highlight some of the things that I think they're trying to highlight in this. So apparently, Nessa from what's that show? The Bernie Mac show? Was it called the Bernie Mac show? Steph, correct me if I'm wrong. Steph.
Yeah.
I'm about to say my mic was muted, but yeah, that's it. The Bernie Mac show.
Okay. So apparently Nessa, all right, and let me get her real name right. Let me throw it on the screen.
Camille Wimbush, Keenan. I'm looking at the comments. He shouted that out.
Okay, thank you. Apparently she's joining OnlyFans and she's getting flack for it. Okay. So let me just play this video and see if they have her responding to the flack she's getting. Let's check this out.
Start an OnlyFans. Start an OnlyFans. Start an OnlyFans.
Okay, they're playing music that I probably won't get away with. So this is, I guess, part of her announcing that she's joining OnlyFans. And in this article that comes to us from MTO News, they highlight some of her Instagram tweets. Yes, you heard right. I have joined OnlyFans, but I'm doing it my way. I'll be saying the things I really want to say and singing and dancing and sharing exclusive content. But don't think it's just for the men. I'm finally dropping the skincare routine. I'll be doing regular live sessions with Q&A, special guests, and most importantly, I'll be able to talk and connect with you one-on-one. I want to hear from you, so come through. And then she also says my way equals minimal nudity. So if that's what you're expecting, sorry, not sorry to disappoint. All right. So that's first and foremost. We want to talk about that in reference to what we're bringing on the table now. And she did get some feedback for it, and then also honorable mentions to Steph Curry's wife. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. Are you familiar with what happened with Steph Curry's wife posing nude, Steph?
I am very familiar with said incident.
I know y'all lying. I know Miss I keep it up.
Oh no!
Cover for my husband is lying. I'm about to Google the.
Oh, but she threw that away. She threw that away about a year ago when she was posing in the bikini and like, not to say you in a bikini is over sexualizing, but when you say I keep my goods in the thing, it does kind of contradict it.
Right. So basically, that's one of the main things that people are getting at her about. Basically, once upon a time, like my co-host said, she had once deemed it inappropriate to show the goods, and now she's showing the goods. Right. So in this,
is that the only picture that we're implying she's showing the good? Because she's not showing anything.
Exactly.
I don't see no.
I don't know.
No areola. No nothing.
I don't know if it's the only picture, but let's read this caption. It says, "From our Sweet July body feature, so many natural wellness and skin remedies in this issue. Steph Curry got to pick the photo. Shins and shoulders, y'all. Shins and shoulders is what she said. And the reason why she's getting backlash is because of a tweet that she sent back in December 2015. Everyone into barely wearing clothes these days, huh? Not my style. I would like to keep the good stuff covered up for the one who matters, she wrote at the time. So apparently she was slamming people for not wearing clothes, and she's not wearing clothes. Yes, she's actually definitely not showing areolas and things like that, but she's definitely not wearing clothes, as she once criticized others for not doing. Let
I
me go. Let me go to some of these comments. But go ahead, Steph. Go ahead, brother.
no, I do think the photo itself is tasteful, but it's just you said what you said. Now,
Right.
if you want to backtrack on that, then please you can do so. But you were kind of making it seem like you don't respect yourself if you do that. That was kind of
Right.
the now she didn't say that, but that's kind of what you may have interpreted that way.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's time. It's okay for her to grow and evolve, and I won't even say grow. I'll just say evolve because she's definitely evolved from that. Because she had the comments of like, I save the good stuff for my husband, and then she made then comments of I wish that men saw me sexy or something that implied like when I go out, men don't really even look at me, and it's like because you gave off this like let's talk about Christ image for so long, and men respect your husband, but you get it like as a woman, sometimes you want to feel, especially when you're in a long-term relationship, you want to feel like you still got it, even though if you're not taking it, you want to feel that way. And then she had the pictures that came out with her husband who looked erect and they were like kissing on the beach in a bikini, and now she's to this implied nude photo. So it feels like she's evolving in her thinking, and that's totally okay. Like if some of the stuff that we still subscribe to in the 90s were still here, like we wouldn't evolve and grow, whether it was from like racism, sexism, sexuality, all of those things. So we actually, the only thing about her is she's doing it in front of a live audience, so it's really challenging for her to like say, yeah, I used to feel like this, and now I'm here. Like you're going to have to eat those words, and so it's kind of a give and take because you're in the public eye. You can't grow privately. The things that I used to believe in, I don't get penalized for them now because I don't have a 7 million follower platform that's watching my every move.
Right. Well, that's a good point. Virginia Sim said, "I'm gonna read these comments and then we're gonna get into the actual topic because we still been toying around it, but we're gonna get into it." Virginia Sim says, we're gonna just not address schoolboy lighting a pipe. Oh, Sherlock homie looking ass." Sherlock homie is pretty funny. But I actually know he uses a pipe from time to time. You know what I mean? So, Keenan Khan says, "My girl Camille Winbush, Vanessa from the Bernie Mac show, just made only right." So, all right. Virginia Sim says, "White people have over sexualized black women for eons. Look up Sarah Bartman, who was paraded around Europe for her large ass. Also, slaves couldn't refuse the sexual advances from their masters." Thank you for saying that, Virginia Slim. Thank you. Because that is the comparison that needs to be made. Because we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it.
Yo, the articles that my fault. Go ahead, my fault.
No, I was going to say because I'm to understand that some women still believe that showing off the ass is liberating, as if it wasn't something given to them to do. You know what I mean?
And men, don't forget the men.
And what we're not because also in the comment, like Virginia Sim said, also slaves or people who were enslaved, men and women. He didn't say women, right? Because it was men and women who couldn't refuse sexual advances from their masters. So we definitely we understand that men have been victims to this as well. When it comes from the over sexualization of our culture from the oppressor. Laurel says, yes, he's an 18-year-old simp. That was for Steph's comment earlier. Keenan Khan says, shaking my head, she'll be twerking in a thong in a month. It do sound like that, sir. It does sound like
well,
I'm just gonna only be minimal nudity, and as soon as her song come on, you already know what time it is. She's gonna be spread. But anyway, yeah, I mean,
Pause on that. Like, because OnlyFans started for people to have like access, like, oh, I'm an artist. If you want this access to me, like writing a song in the studio of how I like made this hit, like that's what OnlyFans began as. And people who selling titties, ass, and dick was like, I'm gonna capitalize this, and if you want to see this, this is an avenue to get on. So just because people have an OnlyFans, and I'm not saying, because she did say minimal nudity, which like alerted me, like, okay, what is minimal nudity? Like either nude or your clothes. I'm not sure, but just to have like a headline say she so and so has an OnlyFans isn't room enough for me to say like, oh, they about to like start showing dick.
okay, well, we read what she said. She does definitely said she would be nude, like you said, and I think what prompted your response is this comment right here, and I agree with it because we see it all the time on Instagram, and that's not OnlyFans, right? We see people on Instagram, women, especially women on Instagram, where they start off with just a little, sexy picture here, little lingerie picture there, right? And then before you know it, it's nothing but straight see-through lingerie. They twerking every other post. You know what I'm saying? Now they taking pictures of body parts and all types of shit and tagging it in the fucking hashtags, right? So they could come up in the search when people are looking for body parts and all that, even when you're not. Because I don't know how many people, once you follow like one or two Instagram models, your whole search
Yeah.
page is ass. You know what I mean? And I'm sure people know I'm not bullshitting. Like I'm sure we all seen it, especially dudes. You go to your search part, nothing but Instagram models and a few things that other shit that you're interested in. And you don't have to be following a gang of models for it to be like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instagram models, right? That's crazy that that's even a term, right? But anyway, Lovell says Steph Curry's wife is a big contradiction. Keenan says my boy Steph out here looking bad. Talking about Steph Curry with his wife out there looking crazy.
Yeah, not
Uh,
me, not me.
Redemption says right. If this is the only pick, that's nothing. But then she went on to say, well, then she's a hypocrite. Virginia Slim says Nessa said minimum nudity, so she'll still probably going to be at least topless.
Hey, did I miss that part? Because I don't remember her saying minimum nudity.
She did. She said minimum. She
Okay,
said my way equals minimal nudity.
okay.
And that could be what Aisha posted. Like that could be minimum. I don't know. To Aisha's picture, media wise, is implied nudity. Like she's, and she probably isn't nude. She probably has like a thong and pasties or whatever. I don't know. I wasn't at the shoot, but the picture is implied nudity. Like I look nude in it, but you can't see.
Right.
Um,
Sunflower says good morning. Good morning to you. King Latrell is what I missed. I hope
a lot.
we updated you, but if not, you got to pull up the rebroadcast when the show is done. As Miss Ravioli likes to say, rebroadcast life. Virginia Slim says clout chasing is a mental illness. I'm prone to agree with you. I'm prone to agree with that. Keenan Khan says I can see Bernie talking to the camera like America. You see this ungrateful bitch out here. This son of a bitch out here. Butt booty neck. Now, let me see. I don't got no Bernie Mac impression in me. Laura says, let's be real. She is only showing skin because those cookbooks ain't selling. Not Patty at all. But sex sells, just saying. And Just One Love said, leave schoolboy alone. And Redemption said, Laura her cookbook recipes and videos are horrible. She's pushing a cookware line as well. Wow, I didn't know about that.
Hold on a sec. Go back to that pause for a second. And here's one thing, because like cloud chasing, there's all these things are kind of tying in. Like cloud chasing truly is a disease. Like chemically, it like does something with like your dopamine. So like getting these likes. What I'm struggling with these actors, and I don't really follow this young lady like this. It is all about get your money, but for the top tier actors, for everyone who's not like a top tier actor, like it's hard for these niggas to just go get jobs. Like everything you do don't have to be on camera or making money or this and things. Like they think that this is the only option, and it's kind of I don't want to say sad, but it take to me it takes out of the reality. Like everything doesn't have to be this like career online to be in the spotlight. Like sometimes your light dims and it may get brighter again, but I don't know.
If they're worried about working, I think people can leverage their celebrity in a lot of ways that most times they don't when they come from
Mhm.
Hollywood. Because and I understand the pressure of wanting to be better than your last project, but at the same time, if I don't think there's no shame in going independent. If you were somebody who Hollywood let in the door at one point in time, but you can find a people who you can work with who's going to give you quality work, then make independent film. You know what I'm saying? Like do instead of because that's technically what you're doing for OnlyFans. You're making independent media and you're getting paid for it.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you just go make some independent work, which a lot of times they won't do because they're waiting for Hollywood to put them on, and then in the meantime they'll do dumb shit like this. Dawa Hour says this a bad show. Um, okay, salute to you. And he said, look like a I don't know, man. I don't know what you're talking about, but salute to you. Laura says OnlyFans should change their name to Only Ass
Nah,
because
nah, nah,
that's
nah, nah. Fuck that nigga.
huh?
Nah, fuck that nigga.
Which
Don't
niggas?
be this a bad show.
Yeah.
Fuck that nigga.
What did it say?
Uh, it said once I started seeing like in the sentence he was mentioning people from other platforms and just talking crazy. It just didn't make sense to me. My dyslexia kicked in, so I can't read it. You can read it later if you want. Laura says OnlyFans should change the name to Only Ass because that's what's selling. Uh,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. They took a shot at me. This is not a bonnet. This is a hat. And it is the colors are Spelman College colors. So whatever. I will not be cursing because I am a Spelman woman. And I just mentioned that college. And I don't smoke crack. I was married to Lucifer though.
he's an abuser. Why you give he's an abuser? Why you give this?
Didn't we just talk about it information? If the stuff in the boat don't come in, your boat won't sink. Thank you for checking in and letting us know our stats. Let's move on.
Virginia
Thank
Slim.
you for all the other everyone else who loves our show. Fuck that. Like, thanks to everybody else who
Yeah, well,
supports us.
I mean, honestly, I really don't give a fuck about who don't like it, so I wouldn't even give it that much attention. You know what I'm saying? I say salute out of just not wanting to go extra, but Steph has no problem telling motherfucker fuck you, so I'm not gonna tell Steph not to say fuck to me. I just choose to just go high and shit and just leave it alone. But Jay Sim says, I love those Instagram pictures when the women are busting it open, but then have a long ass Bible quote under the picture. Fuck out of here. And Redemption says, "Oh damn." Let us know what your oh damn, and I don't know what part you're talking about. And Virginia Sim says, "Yo, who that in the back seat, Miss Ravioli? You got somebody in the back seat, Miss Ravioli?
I do. I told her not to talk. She keep on talking.
You kidnapped Miss Ravioli kidnapped somebody allegedly. Anyway, so the question we want to pose to the audience and to the panel is: are black women over sexualized? All black women over sexualized and or misjudged? Because the article that seemed to be all over the place in one breath is saying that black women are like judged if they do anything less than perfect, right? If they show any piece of body. And then in the other breath, there's basically there are women in the article saying, I'm not going to do that because I don't want that shit to come bite me in the ass, which I agree with because the internet is forever. If you are going to do it, at least do it professionally. I would say that. At least put it behind a paywall, like OnlyFans, if that's the case. You know what I mean? But the article seems to be all over the place. But they're questioning, are black women over sexualized? And I'm also posing a question, or misjudged. I'm gonna start with you, Schoolboy.
So as a caveat, I'm gonna get to it, but as a caveat, I actually signed on to an OnlyFans because it's a person who gives out stock tips, and I've got money with this person, so you know it is what it is. But definitely put it behind the paywall. Are black women over sexualized? Of course, yes, yeah. That's like part of it. You know what I mean? And that's the option that we all have, because black men and women are over sexualized. So that's the option that we have. You know, we can be out here and play that up and take the benefits and the losses that come with it, or not. You know what I mean? I think it just is what it is. Over the last probably 20, 30 years, the liberation has meant like sexual liberation. So people are taking that to a certain point, and it is what it is. But we can't have it both ways. Everybody has to kind of be accountable for what they do.
So I definitely want to get into that as well, but that would be my question after. But so definitely hold that point, because we want to talk about, is this, sexual liberation truly liberation? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that truly a woman liberating herself, taking the power back by saying, "Oh, they over sexualizing me, so I'm gonna show my ass on my terms"? Is that really?
Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna pop my ass before you ask me to shake my ass. I'm gonna shake my own ass. You know what I mean? Like, is that truly liberation?
Wait. Oh, that's hilarious.
You ain't asked me to shake my ass. You ain't asked me to shake my ass. I'm gonna walk through the stadium with my ass out. My name is Izzo.
Yo, they be shaking their ass at the protest. I'll be like, why though?
Yo,
it's not enough to just walk around. That ain't enough.
I see some shit like that. Some chicks twerking at a protest. But anyway, Steph got jokes. Go ahead, brother. Same question.
Yeah, I was going off what you said. Yeah, it is liberating when you see like the city girls make a record that shoot up on the charts, and there's no men in the video, right? It's just women twerking, right? There's no men around, right?
Oh, the men is around, brother. They around. They white men getting paid off that nigga shit. Well, go ahead.
They got paid off that nigga shit too.
Oh, right? Yeah. Cool.
So when Luke has been making money off women shaking their ass for years, we've seen it done with Too Short. It's a list of them, right? And then when women start to do it, now they're hoes, and now that it's capitalism. Like we see Hardee's advertise burgers with a model eating a burger, a skinny ass model eating a burger. Why? Mm-hmm. What is the point of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's because they know sex sales,
right?
So it's just capitalism. Just why is this any different from when we exploit them?
Because you all are not making the money, and that is upsetting.
This is the thing.
The males.
This is the thing, though. I don't know if that I can agree with that, because, like I said, them white dudes.
Because the males are not making the money. You know, the pimps, because they're getting cut out. The middleman is getting cut out. The women are making their own money, so they're bashing the women because they don't get their cut.
So all their managers and all their lawyers and accountants are all women.
No.
Of course, you know that they're not, but they're now taking a bigger cut of their bodies, is what Miss Ravioli is saying. And
how do we know that? We don't even know that, because when we found out that TLC had this contract, making millions, selling millions.
Whoa! Let Schoolboy talk and then stuff.
I'm just saying this. Let me just make this last point. TLC were winning Grammys, and we found out 20 years later they were broke. I mean, we'll see what happens in the future if we see the terms of that contract. But you guys are saying because they're being paraded that they're successful.
Well, shout out to.
Well, I was okay. So first of all,
wait, Mimi. So hold that thought. Steph didn't get say what you have to say.
I was saying shout out to Sleazy Aki for the donation. Y'all can keep
nigga Sleazy Aki. Salute to that man. You was trying to say something else though, weren't you? You was getting hyped, brother. What was you trying to say?
Oh, okay. But you were saying, how do we know they're making more money? And you brought up the TLC situation where they have a shitty contract. A shitty contract is still worth more than a video girl. The video girls were selling Luke's out like Luke. Yeah. If you listen to that music alone, stand alone, it wasn't that good. Let's be honest. But when you start associating it with ass shaking, sir, it's gold now.
Okay, but you said they weren't hoes when he did it, and he called them hoes.
I mean, everybody was cool
but
with it when it was them.
not everybody. You got protests
on,
crazy. But Mimi, go ahead, Mimi. You
Yeah, I was just bringing home Miss Ravioli's point, and I do agree with her. But the point that I want to make to all this is when you talk about over sexualization, and one thing you said, Schoolboy, last time that I had actually had to sit with is um it's like when we talk about like liberating, why do we like go to twerking? I'm like, that's interesting. Like I guess we always do. And it's kind of the same school of thought that when we think about like religion, like the biggest topic is like homosexuality, like that's just kind of like in the forefront. But overall is women having the power of choice without men stepping in to say like this is how you should feel or how you should be. So if I choose to twerk my ass, or if I choose to be a stay-at-home mom, or if I choose to not have kids or not be married, all of these things should be my independent choices without men feeling like they have to insert themselves and telling women how they should be. So if they want to go twerk or, be a sex worker or strip or whatever, like we have that power of choice and you can accept it or not. But where it goes wrong is you telling us like we should not feel this way or we should not want to be this way. We all should be able to be whoever we want to be,
I agree
independent
with
of your
that.
thoughts.
I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? But I think the problem I'm having at connecting with that stands when it comes from most women is that they still think that is some form of liberation. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you got your choice. We all got choice. We all got the power of choice. You know what I mean? But don't make it seem like shaking your ass is all of a sudden power to the people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't
But
think.
it's not power to the people, it's power to myself. Like I can choose right now if I want to get on camera and twerk in front of you guys, or I can choose not to. And it's not up. You can tell
Hey,
you
put
can
her
feel
camera
that
on big, bro. Go ahead.
Oh yeah,
Put her
go ahead.
camera on,
Go ahead.
yeah.
you can feel that like
No, I'm just
this
playing.
that made it really really awkward. You can feel your way, but you can't tell me that it's not liberating to me. You can only feel that way for yourself. And because there is a male privilege like that goes out with like that is associated with it, it's like y'all are treating this basically like blackface. Like, all right, we used to have blackface back in the day, and white people did it, and then we found some niggas to do it. So like it still works for us, and like it's not to me the same thing. Like if she chooses to want to do it, and it may not even be even making money. Like if I choose to want to go twerk on my Instagram live, like I shouldn't have no comments of you're a lady or you'll never find a husband that way or this that and the third or blah blah blah. Like if women choose to want to do that, like that's their choice, and you guys have to just it's aggravating to insert yourself in
It's
someone you're not paying rent for. Like
and and me it's hard to explain that to a group of people. It it's hard to explain that to a group of people who have not been sexually uh or what's the word I'm looking for? Suppressed or told what to do, right? Women are told at early ages, oh, you ain't never gonna have no girlfriend. You I mean, you ain't never gonna have no boyfriend. You have no boyfriend when you're 30. You have a boyfriend when you're 30. We say that shit to our daughters and shit all the time, right?
right.
Like we don't want them to do, but your little boy, we're encouraging him to be sexual. We're encouraging his sexual development,
But Steph,
and
Yeah.
so it's really like women sexuality has been suppressed
Yeah.
for as I can't even go back to a time in history where it wasn't.
let me
I said
respond.
that on the last show. I don't think you were there, but we're trained at an early age. Like you need to do all these things and check all these boxes, and this makes you eligible to be a good wife, to finally get chosen and be accomplished. Like it's coming full circle now. Like no, I'm a good wife because I'm a good person, and that even
I,
doesn't guarantee that I'm going to get married, because there are plenty of women that have done all the okay, I went to college, I kept my body up, I drink my water, I moisturize my skin, I do this, and they still single. Like, why haven't I gotten chosen?
all right, let
Like
me
I did all the right
respond to
things.
that. I was trying to respond to that as soon as you said that. The both of those sides of the coins are wrong, though, sir. Right? To over sexualize a black young male at a young age is wrong, just like it is to try to repress a female's sexuality or whatever. They're both wrong. You know what I'm saying? So even though you saying it's a double standard, I don't see it as a valid argument for the other side of the coin being wrong. You know what I mean? The young black males being told go get some pussy early is not right. The same way that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So they're both two wrongs. You know what I mean? But anyway,
Yeah, but you're all lives mattering this. Like, we're not talking about the white lives that don't get shot by the police. We're talking about the black lives that get shot by the police.
he
So
was talking about
so yes. No,
he
no,
was
no.
talking
So
about it.
it's
He brung it up.
no,
So
but he
until
brought
said
it as the example to the
but you also
conversation. So you're saying they're both wrong. So
now,
let's just like not qualify. No, that's what white people do. Like, why are you saying Black Lives Matter? Why are we focus in on this one? Because the topic at hand is the woman.
Can I also bring something to the forefront? We're talking about, even if we talk about Black Lives Matter, that is in contrast to something else. It doesn't exist in a vacuum. Like there's one thing, and so there's another. They're related to each other. So when we talk about the issues between these the men and women, we're talking about, and little boys, little girls trying to figure it out, right? We're talking about people who they're going to have to live with themselves and each other in the future. So they have to be careful about the things that they're doing now to set foundations for what they're going to do in the future. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? And we got to make better decisions, because we've made the decision. I think as a community, we've made the decision to be as hold on. What's the word?
Individualized.
There we go. Individualize as much as we can. And it
right,
hasn't really
your ass, boy.
Yeah, I was going up that shit. But we gotta figure out how to like move as a unit. Because this shit right here, we've been slapping people and they're just laughing at us, right? We gotta figure out how to close that thing up. You know, we gotta move as a group, as opposed to moving individually. Like, I'm gonna just do whatever the hell I want to do and fuck everybody else. They'll get on with the party. Like, at some point, you can't do that all the time. But
I absolutely agree with you. We need to move as a group, but not that expense as that the rules are written just for the black man, because history has shown us that both. And here's one, and I love black men, but one thing that you guys have in common with white women is you guys pick and choose when it's time to be a unit for black people. So you can use your male privilege, and as long as all like the black stuff gets taken care of, y'all back out and forget about your girls. White women do the same to us. Like, they back out once all the women's stuff is taken care of. And it's, you still do these things this way, black women. Like, no, like, if we're gonna move at a unit, give us equal space as a part of the conversation. If we want to do these things with our bodies, and I'm only going back to the bodies because this is just like that hard topic, but we have that choice.
Yeah, but it's talking about
how we want to
talking about bodies. I think talking about bodies, we talk about what men and women can do with their bodies. Like, women are not out here like clearing forests and laying down concrete and tile, not tile, but concrete and roads and stuff like that. That's not really women aren't dominating in that space. Those are men doing that. And it's partially because their bodies can handle that wear and tear, where women's bodies just don't do that. It just is what it is. We're not the same. You know what I mean? So we complement each other in the greatest ways. Like, besides just our bodies mentally, if we attack a issue with the male and female energy, we accomplish the result that we're looking for. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't always like that when we try to make it seem like men and women have to have equal portions of every single aspect of life. That's not true. It's just not. I'm never going to carry a child. Never, ever, ever, ever.
So let me get to some of these comments, and then I'm gonna reiterate the question. HB2N says we doing feminism early. We kind of are HB2N apparently. CG says except men are because you depend on men for your means and protection. I don't think that's true for every woman, but T, I brother. Redemption says exactly Mia. She agrees with Mia. Redemption also is laughing at Steph. Lord Vel says men and women will never be equal. HB2N says that's why we will never move as a unit. They think we're equal. Feminism is a demonic ideology. and we're going to talk about this feminism as it relates to this idea that somehow it's liberating to be at a slut walk. Still, I call myself a slut. You don't call me a slut. I call myself a slut. You know what I mean? So anyway, Virginia Slim says feminism and the women suffrage movement was never meant for black women. Tell them again, brother. So I'm gonna reiterate the question, and I just want to go across the board real quick. Schoolboy gave us an emphatic hell yes, black women are over sexualized. Steph, are black women over sexualized? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think that's the obvious answer.
Oh, okay. Mia, are black women over sexualized?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Misjudged. I'll answer the other part too. And Misjudged. Yes.
Okay. No doubt. Miss Ravioli, are you there? You look like you was frozen for a minute. Are you there? So you had some technical
I'm
difficulty.
here. The tab press.
Okay.
Okay, so I think that they are over sexualized and they are misjudged. And I believe that individuals are not properly trained on how to respond to um, our bodies, because it's not we should not have to hide our bodies and anything about us, our bodies, our hair, all of that. It's about other people being properly trained, even within our own communities, on how to respond to that.
Can I say something to add to that? I think that becomes as far as you saying hide the body, flesh draws the eye, right? Good, bad, or indifferent. Flesh draws the eye. And when that happens, it's like oftentimes when it involves women, it's hypersexualized. And we don't necessarily treat young men have to respond when we see when they when dealing with women. That's all.
Yeah, I think that to add on to that, because I know where you're going with it, is like it doesn't matter what I do. I'm not owed. I don't owe you anything. So if I decide to walk outside with like my booty shorts on and a crop top because that makes me feel good, or like I like how I look in this outfit, like you catcalling and then me rejecting you, and then it's like, oh fuck you, bitch, nobody wants you anyway. It's like I didn't owe you that hello. If I'm walking and I'm not smiling and you're like, you need to smile, you'll look prettier when you smile, I don't owe you that smile. And men feel entitled to, and I'm not even gonna say black men, but I interact mostly with black men. Yeah, like you feel entitled to my response or my pleasantries, and that's not the case.
Don't forget what you're about to say, but I had a question for you in regards to what you said earlier. You said young men aren't taught how to respond when they see women, like she said, I guess, come outside in a skimpy outfit or whatever. Do you teach your sons?
Me? Well, one is 3, so absolutely no. And
go ahead.
And the second one, no. I haven't had a situation where that would come up yet, but it should be taught. I mean, he's only
I would
10,
say
so
he
can still learn.
I would say he is teaching. You are teaching the 10-year-old and the 3-year-old with your behaviors. Learning happens all day, every day, with everything. You may not be sitting them down, but you are teaching them. And it's how to respond correctly, not just how to respond.
Right. And in the response to what Mia was saying, I think it's a slippery slope when we make it seem like the derelicts speak for all men. You know what I mean? Now I know
the what? Is that an insult?
The derelicts, yeah, is an insult. Like when you talk, the cornballs, the lame niggas. Like I understand there are more men than women. You know what I mean? And I understand that women might get approached a gang of times throughout the day, right?
There are more men than women?
I mean, more women than men.
Yeah, they're not. They're not. But I was gonna let him rock with that because he's gonna make a strong point. I feel whether it's right or wrong, it's gonna be a strong point. Go ahead. Let's see.
Anyway, so I just take that off the table. I understand that on your way to work, on your way wherever, the supermarket, there are gonna be a gang of dudes that may approach you. some disrespectfully, some not. And some are going to get taken as they're disrespectful just because the last 10 motherfuckers were disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, why do people always try to make it seem like the degenerates of the male race or not or male, sex is what men do? I don't get that. You know what I mean? Because that's not all men. That's just some degenerate nigga who's scared to talk to you. So he decides to act grandstand by talking crazy to you, knowing you're not going to respond to that. And if you do, you're easy. You know what I'm saying?
That's assuming that everything's crazy. I'll give
But
you an
that's
example. Literally happened. Hold on, Miss Beverly. I'm sorry. It happened last night. My sink was clogged, and actually, I'm gonna give you two instances. My sink was clogged last night, and so the maintenance man, who is a nice gentleman, he's not a derelict. I think that's what you called it. He's a nice gentleman, hardworking man. Comes to my door. I keep my mask on because like I don't know him, he don't know me. And I'm like, oh hey, because he's unclogged my sink before, but he didn't remember. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember you, blah blah blah, just being kind and pleasant because you're in my house. And he's like, oh, take off your mask real quick. Let me see how pretty you are. I was like, nigga, go fix the sink. And he was like, no, I'm just kidding, blah blah blah. I just wanted to see your face. And I'm like, no, you're in my house. That's all you really need to know about me. Go fix this sink, nigga. Like, and I had to like assert myself because I'm like, I don't want you to get too comfortable feeling like you could speak to me any kind of way because you don't have a chance ever. So we not going there. But he felt that I owed him that, and it happened again. It happened another time where I've had like a maintenance guy come over, and I was just chilling at home, have on my shorts. Like under this, I always just have on like my cheerleading shorts, my athletic shorts, and he comes in like it was like fix my stove or something like that. He was in the kitchen. And he had to bring someone else, another maintenance man, to come over as well. And the manager's like, well, when my guys come, can you change? Because you can't be walking in the house like that. And I was like, nigga, this is my house. Like, if your guys can control themselves, they don't need to come. Like, but you feel like I'm owed that to you. Like, you have the right to tell me in my home that I pay 2,200 US black ass dollars every month that I have to change because it makes you uncomfortable. Nigga, get the fuck out of here and fix this stove. Like,
all right, so that's a 2-part thing, and I'm gonna respond to the first one, and then we can dive in the second one. Yes, he is a derelict. Yes, he is a cornball. Don't come at us and talk about that's an example of just men. You know what I mean? That if a nigga is at work, I get asked the panel right here, schoolboy, you at work, you're a maintenance man. Steph, you're at work, you're a maintenance man. Are you gonna go into a woman's house and tell her I need to see your face, how pretty you are? Or you gonna go straight to that sink and fix that motherfucker? Men?
Nah, yeah. Nah, dude,
Yeah,
trash. I ain't
no,
gonna
like,
go straight to that thing.
yeah. When I'm at work, negative. I'm not about to like be pushing the issue like that. Like, ain't no way.
And
Like,
if you know
the first hint of no, I'm out of there, buddy.
Wait a minute. Pushing the issue. Would you ask
let me shut your mic off, Miss
the
Riley.
lady if you
No,
saw
no,
me?
no. Listen, and then if you knew a nigga like that, if you knew a nigga at your job, Steph, schoolboy, you knew a nigga like that. You knew this is how he get down. And we was speaking behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Yo, what's good with you? How you doing? How was work? How are you going to respond to me? How you going to tell me about this nigga? Are you going to tell me this nigga's cool? Or are you going to tell me this nigga's a corny nigga? Schoolboy?
Nah, it's all it's like, you know, that's not the nigga you can hang out with, like close to anybody, because he's gonna say some crazy shit and have everybody looking either crazy or you're gonna have to fight somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like every time he open up his mouth, the ladies want to scream him down and shit. Like, yo, chill. Shit is crazy.
Steph, or how you gonna describe this nigga if you was telling me about this nigga you work with that did something like that?
If I seen him do something like that,
no, if you see,
I just know how he get. If I know how he get down,
how would you describe that to your friends out when you get off of work?
Okay, that's creepy. Right.
Would you introduce him to your friends after that? Would you go get a drink with this nigga?
I don't particularly hang with coworkers,
right?
But that one especially, no.
Exactly. So no, Mia, that's not an example of men. We're not doing that. I'm not.
Oh, well, thank you for schooling me on real men, because I didn't grow up with my daddy. He a fuck nigga. So thank y'all for that. Because as a woman, I can only see it through my lens, and there's only so much I can do. Like, I'm not like this big burly woman that's about to fight this nigga, but it's like, nah, just go fix the sink. Like, you don't need to know how pretty I am.
Like
Like,
HB2
because you ain't getting nothing.
like HB2 said, never flirt on the job. Now, Mia, you met me in a position of power. You came to my office, correct? We had it. We had it right. At any point, and we was in the office, just me and you. At any point, did you ever feel like you was on a casting couch or anything like that?
Nah, but I also embrace for those situations. Just because you was cool doesn't mean like that doesn't happen. I'm a female producer in a male dominated where I've been on rap videos. There are times where like women, we will downplay our assertiveness to make, because it's like, I gotta eat. Like, I gotta make sure like this money comes in. But there are corny niggas, and sometimes even like who appears to be the nice guys will try it, and you have to like shut it down in a way that is like, I ain't with that shit, but also be able to keep the peace because you don't want it to escalate, whether it's from like a total like just physical standpoint, like you're bigger than me, I'm in my apartment alone, or it's like, this nigga, I'm gonna have to see this nigga again because some shit gonna go wrong and you're gonna have to come fix this, and so I need you to fix this, so let's like stay on topic.
Right. So, go ahead, Steph.
No. I want you to just. I'm gonna stay in line. And just keep the show going.
Okay. So Miss Ravioli, I mean to cut you off before I go to the second part of her story, because we definitely need to dive in on that, right? Miss Ravioli, what were you trying to say?
I was just gonna say, you're not a woman, JahLogic. You are a man. So how do you know how we are approached multiple times a day by people that come in suits, that people that are well educated, people that are ill educated? It doesn't matter. It's like more men are not like you than there are out there that are like you three claim to be.
Claim to be. You hear that bullshit?
No. Yo. She brought up the topic. She said, just what do you mean you pushing the issue, right? And I'm like, the issue is that when men and women interact, sometimes there's sometimes there's a little spark, and so a man is usually going to figure out what that is, right? Or the woman will kind of push you into that direction. Either way, it happens that way. But if within that interaction there's okay, that's it. That you can't be in there trying to campaign for somebody's attention and affection at work. But people definitely flirt. Hold on. People definitely flirt all the time at work. Not only that, statistics have shown a lot of marriages start at the job. People meet at work. That's like when you take the master courses in management, they talk about that in the actual books. So people always talk about you don't talk to people at work. A lot of people are doing it.
No, honestly, I'm not a good person with hints. When I met my baby mama, I was a bus driver. I was driving buses, and her daughter was late picking up her daughter, and I had to bring her back to school. And her mama gave me her number saying, "Hey, if I'm ever late to the bus stop, call me." Da da da. And that was it. I wasn't calling her for no, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't calling for any other reason than she was late to the bus stop. But then she sent me a text message, and I forgot what it said, but it was something funny, and I was just like, LOL. Then I started realizing, oh, this woman is hitting on me. And then that's how I met her like that. But other than that, no, I'm not really good at signs.
A smart man is not going to come at a client on a job. He's just not. A real man, he got any type of integrity. If he even got options, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he got options, the last thing he's gonna do is risk his fucking job. You know what I'm saying? Especially in some woman's house, so she can.
Russell Simmons.
Say it again. No, I didn't. I don't think I said percentage.
Russell Simmons.
No, he's saying Russell Simmons.
Russell's. Listen.
Yo, what?
I'm going to stop using these examples of these people who furthered the agenda of corporate America as examples of the regular average dude. You know what I mean? Now, I get it. I get that in the world there are a lot of people who approach you, but it's almost like when you got a customer service job and you deal with 5 rude motherfuckers. You might assume the next 5 motherfuckers is rude, and the next person might just had a bad day or just said something you didn't like, and now you're rude. You know what I mean? So we're not gonna act.
No.
That's just the majority of men. I'm not with that shit.
Hey,
Oh no. Well, I can use examples with y'all three as men on this panel.
Feel free, but you ain't got an example of me trying to sexually oppress or flirt or none of that shit. Because I work with plenty of women, and it ain't just start today.
Well, that's true. I that's true. But I also think like sometimes there is harmless flirting that could go left, but it's up to like
from
me, huh? I'm saying just. First of all, I'm painting the picture. So there's women, we get approached all the time or tried, or because we're so used to being tried. Like, I just know how to like dust things off. It's like, I don't even want to open that window in case that's a window. Like, sometimes we don't know if it's a window, it's a door, it's this, but it's like, I'm not even gonna go in it, but I'm going to shut it down. But there can always be like these slick flirting remarks. And it's like, we don't need that. And I don't take that as everyone who does it is like a scumbag. It's just like, oh, they just tried. Okay, move on. Like I shut it down.
All right, before I go to the second example you gave, because I think it's something we should talk about before we get out of here. We definitely rounding up to the 9 o'clock hour. I'm gonna read these comments. First off, my big bro Chico says, "Good morning, big bro." And HB Twin says, "Poor me. I guess feminism didn't teach her how to snake a sink."
It didn't. So come fix it for me, please. It did not. So yes. Please come fix all of the things that are broken and mount this TV, please, HB2.
HB2 says, "I hope Mia reported this nigga because if he did it to her, he'll do it to other women." I agree. You know what I mean? To me, I think he's more than creepy. That's some real rapey type vibes to be in somebody's house that you're there to serve. You know what I mean? So I definitely think that nigga should be, reported. You know what I mean? I agree with that.
When you asked me earlier, did I want to say something? I wanted to hop to this comment, but I was like, I'm just gonna chill and let you get to it.
Okay. Lovell says, "I'm a mover. I only got one woman's number."
Wait. Okay, so Mia, if you reported every time somebody did something foul or said something foul, how many reports would you have in a week or a month?
I would not get anything done. I wouldn't be on the show right now. We would still be on all the 1-800.
Okay.
I get approached
exactly.
A lot, so.
Miss Ravioli.
But I also don't.
You all are looking at it from a.
Okay.
She's frozen. I get what she's saying. I also I think there's a probable cause that you guys could be right, but I also don't feel like he's rapey. I think he just tried to shoot a shot. It didn't go in the basket.
Listen,
and that could be me. That could be something I need to address. But
listen, Miss Ravioli, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, and you talking about if she reported. Every situation isn't the person coming into house to change to service a house. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's different. This is somebody who might potentially even has the keys to her fucking house. You know what I mean? If we talking about people working the building and all that, that's different. We're not talking. Miss Ravioli, we're not talking about walking down the street being flirted, and then you like, and then you go Karen on it. Where do you work? And try to call this nigga a job. We're not talking about that. Okay, we're talking about this man who was in her home.
You're missing the point. That's not the point. I'm thinking about the maintenance people that come in your home, anybody, whether they're contracted, but whoever you call, whether it's somebody at where you get your oil changed, whether it's somebody that you work with, whether it's somebody at the grocery store when you go to cash out and they're trying to get your number while you paying. It's not just like the people coming into your home. And I'm just saying, as a woman, if you were to report all of those incidents, like she said, you would get nothing done. And all would start saying, oh, it ain't everybody, or oh, that's natural, or you start saying, oh, that's nothing, like you're doing right now.
Miss Ravioli, and nobody said it's nothing. You like to make up shit, but once again, Once again, Miss Ravioli, what I'm saying is this is an incident where the man potentially has the key to women's home. Okay? The nigga sounds rapey to me. You understand? Once again, like you, Miss Ravioli, I did a lot of work in the community. When you go into do work in somebody's home, there's almost you got to make sure there's a shared power. Or in his case, you making sure that person know they have the power. But if you're coming in, like even if you're coming in on some like family services type shit, you can't come in with the power over. I'm in the house and now I'm dominating your house. There has to be a level of respect, a level of shared power. And if you coming in to snake the sink, you better be humble as shit, quiet as fuck. And he's so stupid, he's even set himself up to get blamed for even more. Because Mia could be a different type of woman. She could be the type of woman like, oh, he said this. Now I'm gonna throw a whole extra, action on top of it, and I'm gonna say he grabbed my ass. Now this dumb nigga is in jail with no job. You understand what I'm saying? So this nigga is not an example of men once again. But anyway, let me go back to these comments. And I wasn't saying, and no, she's not gonna report the nigga at the grocery store. The nigga at the grocery store don't have the keys to the home. That's not the same. Nigga packing the bags is not the same as nigga with the keys to the home. Lovell says, I'm gonna move. I only got one woman's number only because she was giving out choosing signals. Other than that, is back to the money.
He followed the breadcrumbs. Good job, Lovell.
HB2 says, this is why I wish all black women were married. Y'all don't deserve to be unprotected.
I agree. Find my husband. Where he at?
HB2 says, what that do with Jado? Brooklyn Honcho says, I love smashing cold. I love smashing.
Good old fraternization. Good for you, Brooklyn Honcho.
What is face prominence?
Hey, look at his face. Look at his face.
He looks like a nigga
every word.
who loves smashing his coworkers.
Shout out to Honcho for that comment, man.
Shout out to Honcho. Redemption song says, Miss Ravioli has a list on tap. HB Torres says, lonely woman come up with every excuse not to find a good man. Shaking my head.
That's true.
Brooklyn Hodges says, I see Miss Ravioli still using the nanny cam this morning. Miss Ravioli, would you move that napkin out the camera again? Move that napkin, whatever that is.
That's not a napkin. That's the door to my cupboard.
Yeah, move it. Keenan Khan says, I heard Star shooting his shot at Miss Ravioli earlier this week. I don't know about that. HB Toy says they moving the goalpost to the moon now. And Lovell says, Keenan Khan, wait, what's that called? Brooklyn Hodges says, females are playing strange games nowadays, and men don't even know how to play. It's a good point.
I think that's true. I think we're like, change is, people say they hate change, but when you're in one apartment, then you move to the next, that's change. What the struggle is transition, and we're transitioning from some and I'm saying biased words, but antiquated way of thinking into this new way of thinking, and it is a challenge. And I would say, like, it's hard because like you may go out on a date with me, and I'm like, open up all my doors, pay for a meal, and then go out with another woman, and she's like, I want to go Dutch, and like, don't open my doors and don't do all this. So I mean, it's hard for y'all too. Like, it's a weird space.
I agree with him, and definitely some nowadays it's hard for men to know when it's okay to flirt because they don't want to get mistaken for your super who's fucking rapey. All right, so
But even you saying that, like, you sitting here talking through this conversation, like, you're making me go back to be, because you gotta also understand, I'm from the South, and I have my lens is different, and I didn't need the tools that you needed growing up in Far Rockaway to survive. And so my head is on like this new swivel living in New York. And I'll give you an example. I was at the stripper party with some friends. And I was like, I could roll with dudes. So I was rolling with my friends. We went to the stripper party. I was just chilling with them. And a guy comes to approach me. And I'm just thinking, like, because I'm like, oh, nice to meet you. He's like, what you here for? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm here with my friends, blah, blah. And he goes, oh, you came to, like, party. And I was like, yeah, like, I'm from Atlanta, like, whatever. Like, I go to strip clubs, it's fine. And when he leaves, my friend is like, don't talk to nobody else in here. And I'm like, why? He was nice. He was like, that nigga thought you was a stripper. And here I am in full jeans, like I had ripped up jeans, and then I had like a little blazer on. If y'all look in the group chat, that outfit I was wearing in that video I sent, that's the outfit. And he was like, everybody here is either women. Most of these women here are strippers, used to be strippers, or they selling pussy. Don't speak to nobody. And so, like, I'm bringing it all. As soon as he said that, the party changed to me. Like, I was like, this ain't fun no more. It's time to go home. And so, women were not always, I won't say women, I wasn't aware of, like, what the situation could be outside of, like, my lens. So, thank you for even having that explanation. I don't know if that was really the case, but it's good to know, like, this could be the case. So be mindful of when you're in your home by yourself and the guy is low-key flirting with you, and he can have a master key and he know you live alone and all these things, like, to be just more alert. And I think that's smart. So thanks for that.
No problem.
One thing that I was gonna say, like, to
hold on, shout out to HB2N as well for even bringing that up though. Miss Ravioli, good.
one thing that I was gonna also say is, because I advocate for victims of domestic violence. A good thing to do is to put up photographs, like pictures of a man if you are a woman, even though that may not be your man. Just kind of make it look like there is male presence in your home when you stay alone, even if you have to go buy some fake me out house shoes, like slippers or whatever, and whatever you need to do to just toss on the sofa, a robe, I don't know, just whatever. Just don't make it appear as though you live alone. That helps.
Good strategy. Good strategy. But some reason I'm gonna get to this, and we're gonna get to this. But I want to go to the comments. For some reason, I feel like if a man said that, it'll be taken as a man oppressing y'all. But anyway, Brooklyn Honcho says a lot of great porn videos started with a delivery man or Mr. Fix It. Virginia Sim says the majority of working men aren't willing to mess up their bag over some ass. Thank you.
Yo. I'm sorry, but if we go back to the comment before that, a lot of great porn videos. Let's not forget earlier in this episode, the ladies going back and forth about opening up a box. That's. I just wanted to go back to that. All right, go ahead.
The press can make, just like we can make white jokes all day, and white men, soon as they say the fried chicken joke, they're like, you're racist. Like, we can make sexual jokes and not be questioned. So you get to be a male, and I get to do this. We get to say niggas, and white people get to have great credit scores, whatever.
Brooklyn Hodges says the F in Mimi stands for flirty today.
Yes, it does.
And my sister Nigel says marriage doesn't equate to protection, but I appreciate your intention. Good morning, panel. Pass it through. Salute to you, sis. It's love, and happy belated birthday to ya. All right. Mr. Jones says, good morning, kings and queens. Good morning, brother. I salute to you all y'all on this morning. Good morning to you, brother. Keenan Khan says, I forgot which episode. HB2N says, okay, we're not mentioning dudes. Anyway, HB2N says, Miss Ravioli got a male sex doll in the bed with a snoring cassette playing.
I do not.
Not the cassette.
And Virginia Slim says, Mr. Ravioli, if the dudes is on some grimy shit, the illusion of a man at home won't deter him. I agree with that. Keenan Khan says, I was the telephone man for 8 years. I always knew when women were married or single. If it ain't no tools and lawn equipment in the house, she lives alone. All right, so I want to talk about the second part of what Mimi said really quick. She gave us an example of I think it was the super saying that she needs to wear, certain type of attire in her own home, right? So that she doesn't get potentially violated, right? Now, I definitely want to say that I don't agree that just because a woman wears a certain outfit, they should be treated any crazy way as far as like, aggressed or abused or any of that. You know what I'm saying? Raped, you know what I mean? Any of that. I don't believe in any of that shit, right? However, when I hear that a man tells you, yo, you got to put some clothes on, even though his approach may have been a little bit like nigga, you can't tell me what to do. I feel like he was trying to protect you. I feel like he was giving just same way Miss Ravioli gave you a idea of something to do to keep these weirdos at bay, I feel like he was giving you a suggestion, you know what I'm saying, of way to potentially protect yourself from these weirdos. Should you have to protect yourself from weirdos? Should it have to be that? Because you absolutely not. You shouldn't have to be worried about that. But at the same time, was that not good advice? That he knows that these people on his staff, all of them aren't all the way there. All of these
I
guys
have a
may not have
this
records
is
yet. He may think that some of them may be on their way of getting a record. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it not just good advice? Why does it have to be taken as being told what to do? Miss Ravioli has seemed to have some strong words. I'll let you start.
why is the focus on Mimi accepting the advice of the super as opposed to the super giving a good talking to the maintenance people? Why is
Because,
that? Every
What's
no,
what's
no, no, no.
reality
I
though?
I need I need an answer from each one of the three
I'll give
gentlemen
you
on the
an answer.
panel.
I'll give you an answer. I gotta mute your mic first. I'll give you an answer. Okay? I'll give you an answer. And the answer is you don't know, first of all, if he gave them the talking to. You don't know. He could give them a talking to. That doesn't mean crazy niggas ain't gonna be crazy niggas. Niggas don't be crazy 23 hours out the day and on the 24th be like, you know what? That dude made some sense and he's fucking.
Yo,
I'm just not gonna be crazy no more. I'm just gonna fucking get my life together. That's not how that works when you're a corny nigga. You understand what I'm saying? He could tell him, I'm gonna fire you. This nigga, by doing what he did to Mimi, could get himself locked the fuck up. Like, listen, like a nigga like me, I don't play that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't play that shit. I'm not leaving no room for the story to go nowhere. So I always been that way. I had an organization in college. I wouldn't let niggas do the cat calling shit in front of me because that shit's gonna look bad on the whole organization. I was that type of nigga. You understand what I'm saying? So with that being said, that doesn't mean niggas ain't still gonna be themselves. So that's my main point to that. We don't know if he didn't give him the talk. Now, even if he should give him the talk, that goes back to what we said earlier. He needs to be aware of what's going on. He needs to be aware of the person crossing the line. Now, if he just is wise enough to know that it's possible for some of these niggas to cross the line, that's not the same as them crossing the line. He can't fire them for something he think they might do. So him giving advice like, yo, these dudes gonna be coming in your house, you know what I mean? To me, that's advice. I don't think he was giving a directive. I think that was advice. But I'm gonna let Schoolboy answer that question. But I should have my question answered first as the panel, the nigga moderating. I am asking, it should it be taken as advice? But go ahead, two-part question, Schoolboy, you can handle it. Should it be taken as advice? And Miss Ravioli's question, should it not just be on him as the super to stop these things from the crazy motherfuckers that potentially could work for him?
I'm gonna go with it's actually advice, and I'm not just saying that because I want to agree with logic. The issue is that, like we said, there's too much. My question is always, what's reality though? I know what it should be, but what's reality? What's reality is that somebody could have already complained about this dude asking about the little mask question that's making people uncomfortable. So he already knows, hey, I know this guy might come in here with that bull. So let me tell her, like, just, be on guard because, I know I'm sending somebody in who's going to be a little bit hot. So I can't even do nothing about it. He might not have enough to actually fire him. He's, yo, check this guy. Tell me some shit so I can get him fired. I already know he on some bull. You know what I mean? So that's why I say take it as advice. So as much as I might think that it's normal that I can go like to some of the neighborhoods I used to live in and be like, yo, I'm gonna wear this nice watch. I'm gonna always be dressed to the nines and look like I got a lot of money in my pocket. I should be able to be comfortable to do that shit. However, I know if I go like that, somebody might come up to me and be like, yo, let me see what you have in your pockets. They look really full, man. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm out here looking crazy.
Now you're out there where Rabbit is in the streets.
Right.
Or you might go to LA and think, oh, I should be able to wear this hat and get your head knocked off. Get your head flown, your brains flown. You know what I mean? For a fucking sports hat. So could it just be advice? Could it just be good advice? I don't know. Steph, same question, brother.
Oh, as far as the gentleman, what was he the manager that told you that? Like
what to change my shorts?
Yeah.
I would say he's higher level because I don't want to put nobody on blast.
Okay.
But he
Well,
was just like, "Yo, I got some other guys coming in here. You may want to change your shorts."
okay. Well, what he was doing, he apparently he knows how they are. So, I don't think he was trying to be hateful.
Oh, Steph, you got frozen.
Okay.
Well, while he's getting it, I will say this: like, shout out to y'all for giving me a new perspective because I think, like, I know naturally my default with like thinking niggas is flirting or looking at me crazy and I don't want that advance is to like back
Can y'all hear me?
away. Yeah. You was frozen for a second, so I'm just giving my point and then like
Oh,
I
go ahead.
guess you can wrap it up. But I'm glad that I have real niggas in my corner to be like, this could also have just been this. And I'm like, oh, that could have been that. And I should have actually probably just thanked him and be like, but it goes back to the original, like a few conversations earlier when Miss Ravioli and Steph was talking about like, what do you teach your sons? Have had men been taught earlier like this is how you move and navigate with women, we wouldn't be here now. And I think we're all going to come to like we're in different positions, but we're all going to come to the same point because now wrapping it up with Schoolboy, like yeah, that's how it should be, but it isn't. So like you have this girl who is always braced and is like, you shouldn't be looking down here anyway. I'm in my house, versus and not being able to receive like, yo, he could have just really been looking out, and I didn't know that to now. That happened months ago. But that's my daddy fault for not protecting me when I was young.
uh, Steph, you were trying to say something. Go ahead, brother.
Steph, you bet.
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. I was damn. I was saying, yeah, that the gentleman who told you that was trying to be hateful. He really was. Although if he has hiring firing power, I don't see why you would hire somebody who you think would be like that, even after you've had that conversation with them.
Okay.
But one thing I don't think, and I think is wrong to assume that these guys don't know how to act. I accept that. Yo, this could be general advice. Like you got some niggas coming in here. I just know how niggas are, or I know, and I'm gonna try to stop using nigga as much, but I know
No,
how
keep using it.
men are. So you know, just like change it up just in case. I accept that. But I am one of those like innocent until proven guilty type. So I'm not gonna assume that he thought like I work with some savages. You need to change him because it could be a situation.
And then when I don't mean that he was working with
Brooklyn is
guys
my
that were
friend.
I don't mean he was working with guys that were rapey. I'm saying like guys that's like instantly gonna start trying to holler or sweat you because they see, oh man, she look good, da 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 da. She got them shorts on, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Yeah,
Miss
I mean, a lot of the maintenance men have tried to shoot a version of their shot, and I'm just like, I'm cool with like I get enough attention that I know like if I want to turn it off how to do it politely and then also not make it a situation, especially if something like I'm gonna see every day. So like, and I'll give this one last example. Sound like I need to move like talking to y'all, but like there's another there's another like made this guy and like we see it and I'm like, hey, how you doing? Like we do that in the South. You speak, you know, good morning, blah blah blah, and at one point I had like a mouse problem and so I got a few of the guys' numbers who were like, can you come just get this mouse right now? I'm not waiting till Thursday for the exterminator, blah blah blah. And one of them were like around the same age, he's cool. And so I just like kind of joked and maybe it was on me being like, yo, we friends now. Thank you so much for killing this mouse, blah blah blah. Let's like hang out. I'm new to the neighborhood, hang out outside. And I remember the next time we text, and he's like, "Oh, are you home? You safe? Blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're gonna go grab a bite to eat later. That's fine." And he was like, "Well, you know, I'm on break in 30 minutes. I could just pull up." And I was like, "Nigga, no, you're not about to start getting comfortable having your feet kicked up in my house, sucking up my air." Like, and I'm like, "Oh, that could have been the wrong." So it's just like there's this fine line of like being friendly and is this a situation? Could this be a situation? You never know, so you just try to do your best on both ends, men and women.
Nah. I think that was just a simple misunderstanding on where I stood. But also, yes, you got rat problem. Move. You said
No,
you feel like
that's done. That's
got it
over
up.
with because I've been nice to the maintenance men. So they cemented all that shit up I haven't had in the months.
Look, I think there's nothing wrong with asking for clarity. You know what I'm saying? I think there's nothing wrong for asking for clarity, but you on the job, that's just super ridiculous. But anyway, let me read some of these comments and then we're gonna Miss Ravioli. I'm not sure if everybody answered your question, so I definitely want you to reiterate that, and then we're gonna start with stuff. But after these questions, after we read these comments, Mr. Jones says facts. I second guess myself when I talk to women. I like to flirt, to give compliments to women, but I don't want them to start hollering out me too. Nigel says nowadays, all guys, she's generalizing, are full of weed, sex, and lies. Definitely no tools or lawn equipment, so it can get tricky.
Hold on.
Steph don't smoke.
I about to say I don't smoke. I'm full of lies. I'm telling lies in the goddamn second. You understand me?
Brooklyn
But I
Hunter
got
says.
tools too.
Brooklyn Hunter says, I think this is the issue of good-looking people dealing with not so good-looking people. Topic.
Brooklyn Hydro, you may be the king of comments for me. I look forward as soon as I see your face pop up.
We kind of got off topic, but we still on topic in a way. But we kind of definitely went down a rabbit hole. And he also goes on to say, good-looking people don't get looked at sideways, the way sideways, but not so physically attractive but not so physically attractive person would.
That's true. I don't. Do you get what he's saying? Because me and my homegirls, we talk about that in the group chat. Like, had that been like my type of dude, it would have been like, oh yeah, let me show you my mat. Like, let me take this off.
Right. So let me reiterate it. So let me read this one more time. Good looking people don't get looked at sideways the way not so physically attractive person would. So basically, I do get that, and I agree. You know what I mean? Like you said, if you was attracted to him, and I think somebody said it on this show before in the past that I think it might have been J Doug who said like if they like the dude, it's not harassment anymore. It might have been you, Steph, or J Doug, or even Schoolboy. If they like the guy,
Yeah.
it's not harassment or something.
But in fairness, with me, I didn't assume it was harassment with the guy that I didn't like. It was just like, I'm not going to open that door for you because I don't want any of it.
Yeah. No, that's if it's not harassment, at very least it's unprofessional.
Yo, I can tell Mimi gives it up like that. I can tell she's knocking niggas down like that because she knew exactly how to say it to him. Like, yo, shut this shit up, bro.
Right.
Yes.
HB2 asks a question: what's wrong with modesty?
Nothing.
Brooklyn Honcho says, "Show us." Brooklyn Honcho says, "Can Mimi show us the shorts just for research purposes?"
You gotta earn that.
HB2 says, "Mimi, you gotta blame Mama too." Oh, come on, HB2.
I agree with the first part. She could have picked a better nigga. But if she did, I wouldn't be here. Did she run him away? Nah, he was still a fuck nigga.
There you go, HB2. HB2 says, "Sound like you need to move or get married."
Yes, find my husband. Tell him I'm over here. Tell him to log in and watch the show and chime in. Where he at? HB21, you offer me all these suggestions without no solution.
Brooklyn Honcho says, "I can't save all of you women."
But can you save me? I'm just kidding.
Yo, Blue Label Multimedia says, yo.
She's shooting her shots. Yeah.
According to them, they can do that. Guys, just remember, especially my mic cuts out when we speak at the same time. Blue Label Multimedia says, salute to the fans. Salute to you, good brother. Salute to you. And he also says Schoolboy 100. Nigel with the shots from Miss Ravioli. Miss Ravioli getting shot at this morning. She says, I thought Miss Ravioli was the Gorilla Glue girl for a hot minute. Yo. Your mic is on Teddy Riley, Miss Ravioli. It's back on Teddy Riley.
I just said, wow. Okay.
HB2S says, how many women single in your group chat, Mimi?
It's an equal mix: married, single, relationships, dating, and
Hey,
divorce. A
hey,
mix of
Matt,
all of it.
the married women need to get out of there now. I don't know what y'all talking about in
No,
there, but they need to get out of there now. They're not
we're
gonna be
all
married for
helping each
long with that.
other.
No, no, they're not.
No,
Y'all not helping them. Y'all not helping them at all.
we're
Y'all
all
helping them.
helping each other navigate it through spaces.
Yeah,
Yes,
y'all
we're
helping them
all helping
navigate
each
through their
other.
future divorces. Y'all stop. Get out of there,
No,
women.
no,
Get out of
we
there,
actually have a really healthy chat group.
bruh, bruh. None of their husbands believe that. But go ahead.
Brooklyn Hunter says Miss Ravioli is newly divorced from Lucifer. Are you newly divorced or has it been a minute, Miss Ravioli?
It has been a minute.
Okay.
It's been a
H-
minute. On
HB,
paper, it's been since what, 2018?
okay.
In
That's well.
reality, it's been since 2015.
Oh wow. But you know that's only a few years. I think it's not that long. It's still kind of fresh. 2018. Think about it.
Yeah, that ink's still
No,
drying up.
that's on paper. On paper. On paper. In
That ink's still
reality,
drying up.
2015.
2015 is as in you left his house or the house at 2015.
Right. Kind of. I
So
was put out by the
just a few
Cavs
short years
County
ago, you were still
deputy.
Lucifer's property.
No, she said she left in 2015. Jersey Jen, my big little sis says he said, "Get out now." and
All of us want to be married, so all of the girls who are married helping the single ones out, and we all uplift. Believe it or not, we celebrate black men, the ones that deserve to be celebrated, and we like the ones on fire who deserve to be lit on fire.
Yo. I can't support that type of violence in the morning. Go ahead.
All of us want to be married to people that are deserving of us.
Yeah.
Okay. Blue Label says he's shouting out Miss Ravioli as well. So it's not all shots this morning. It's not all shots this morning. Virginia Slim said.
Thank you.
Virginia Slim says, "Did you rock that hat when you signed those papers? They're not gonna let the hat go." I like Miss Ravioli's hat. Let me just say I like your hat, Miss Ravioli. All right. I
Thank
don't.
you.
All right. It's cool. It looks like someone knitted it.
Dynamite.
Did somebody knit it for you? Is that a knitted hat? Somebody knit that for you?
No, but I do have a knitted
Florida
one
Evans.
from a Spelman affiliate, the
Okay.
Spelman sister.
No doubt. Hold on. Yeah, Nigel says she likes the hat too. See, it's not all shots. HB Twin says, "Ain't no married woman ever help a single woman. She was too busy getting a man." Miss
Hey,
Ravi-
That is true. That is true. You
yeah.
know why? Because right after I got married, that's when the married women came up with all of the horror stories. And I'm talking about at the reception. Like, oh, this is it's gonna be like this now. Like you think so. I was like, wait a minute, why y'all didn't have stories prior to this prior to this ceremony? So that's true, HB2N.
Yo.
Novell
Did
says
she say at the
Lucifer.
I'm sorry, but did she say at the reception? This is why I'm not trying to have no big marriage. Your little auntie's coming over here whispering in your ear. You thinking she said, "Oh, you found you a good man." She like, "No, run, girl. Just stay for like 10 years and get half his shit." Like, nah, bruh. Y'all can't. I don't even. Nah, we going to the courthouse and back home. Y'all can talk on the phone.
Uh, Lowerville says Lucifer made that hat for Miss Ravioli. Keep it real.
I would
All
not accept any gifts from Lucifer. Thank you, though, Lord Bill.
right. So, Miss Ravioli, did you get the answer to your question from the other two gentlemen on the panel?
I did, in a way.
Okay. So with that being said, just to wrap, not even to wrap it up, but to kind of bring it all everybody up to speed, because I know we got people in the room that weren't here for the beginning. We definitely were addressing black women over sexualized is so-called liberation, really liberation when it comes, especially when it comes to the black woman. I do feel like we do have some differences of opinion that we still didn't get a chance to hash out on that. So in closing, in Schoolboy, fix your angle of your camera and or the light situation. So before we wrap it up, I just want to ask people, Your general opinion on is women when women take off their clothes on their own account, is that and should that be looked at as liberation, especially for young girls looking up to these women? Schoolboy, is that a form of liberation when women shake their ass because they want to shake their ass? Should young girls look up to aspire to that
Well,
image?
well,
Or
well. The thing about it, I think a lot of times we hold on one second.
all right, so let's start with you, Steph. Go ahead, Steph.
Can you repeat the question?
Is it just in a simple? Well, nah, it don't have to be too
I guess
simple. But
so.
let us know. Is it liberating for women to? And I think I know your answer, but to twerk on their own account. You know what I'm saying?
It can be.
And should young girls look up to that? Is that what they should look up to, aspire to be? And when it comes to liberating themselves,
Like I said, it can be. And should you look up to it? You should look up to your parents. Honestly, they are really setting the tone of how you should live it. I know that's not realistic. I know oftentimes we look to media and TV, what we want to use to and we oftentimes get caught up in that. But if you're asking me what you should do, your parents pretty much have the blueprint for you.
not even what they should. Well, I'm asking what should young girls look up to that, because if it's liberating, then I feel like then that should be something they should look up to, right? If it's something, if we're looking at it as a positive thing to just, jump in the public, shake your ass because you want to shake your ass, and that's looked at as some type of form of woman power and all that, right?
I mean, I'm not sure how much. Have you seen these young cheerleaders lately? It's a lot of that, and a lot of people are in arm because they're so young. But again, you're taking dancing and making it sexual. That's not them doing that. That's you get what I'm saying? Like
No, no,
it is.
I don't.
No. Listen, I seen the video of a group of little white girls. They were doing all the little shaking. They
Mhm.
were doing dancing, shaking, flipping, all this other stuff. And they had on like little halter tops and they had little small shorts, right? And people sexualized that. They thought, oh, these little girls are being sexual. These little girls aren't being sexual. Little girls are just dancing. But that's how you are interpreted.
I think a lot of dances are sexual. You know what I mean? Even some of the names of these dances are sexual. Let's take it to the dance hall real quick. You know what I mean? Like, they're literally talking about ride on the cock, jump on the cock, ride the cock. Like these are the dances. They're not.
But that's not the dance you're talking about, though, Logic.
No, I never expressed a specific dance, sir. I said when they twerk or shake their ass.
Okay, well, is that the dance you're talking about?
I mean, that's one of the things they do when they talking that shit. Jump on it, ride on it. They twerking their ass and they jumping on the fucking floor, dirty ass floor, pussy all on the dirty ass floor, types of crazy shit. That's what they do. That's what they do. So I think, you know what I mean? Let's keep it real. There is this form of dancing that's basically dry humping. Let's not play that game. Let's not play that game. You know what I mean?
Okay,
When a girl,
it sounds like you're talking you're talking about culture, which I am not a part of. Dirty right on the cock. Bro, I'm American. I'm not
plenty
Caribbean.
American women, dirty wine.
I'm not
Y'all
Caribbean.
y'all are circling and we've been all off the this has truly been a rant, a morning rant. But Steph is talking about cheerleading dancing. You brought up the point about another form of dancing. His point is this specific dance, it was not what they were just some cheerleaders having fun doing their routine. I didn't hear Steph say like there was twerking or anything involved, but it was sexualized just because they had on, crop tops and shorts. But to get back to the point, because I know Schoolboy has to leave, what was the what were you saying,
I think he
Steph?
answered
Like
that, but let me ask you, Mimi, if you have a daughter, would you allow her to wear short shorts at a young age in high school?
I would I I would do what my mom did, and we graduated with age appropriate things.
Okay.
So when I feel like she can handle herself, and she was aged appropriately for certain things to make her own choices. Like you give her like the liberties as she grows. Same with if I had a son. You don't
Okay.
get a gun when you 5. You don't know what to do with that. You get a
Right.
gun when you know how to shoot.
So is that safe to say because some outfits are generally appealing to people on a sexual manner? Is that why that's what makes these outfits appropriate?
It's a. I mean, I can't. I don't pair nothing but Grisha, which is green Keisha, my succulent plant.
Mhm.
So I don't. I wouldn't know until I get into um until I'm a mother. Everyone parents differently. So for some, not wearing skirts. I mean, not wearing pants to church is over sexualized or whatever the case is. So like, but for me, I think it's all about like the kid and like what's on trend right now. I don't want my kids to grow up too fast. I want them to have the time to be kids. I don't know if
Okay.
I answered your question, but
That's cool. Well, and schoolboy, same question. I'm gonna pose that question to you. Is it liberating?
Yeah, no. If the question is it liberating with the dancing specifically?
All of it. Is it liberating for a woman to, just go to the general public? Let's say, showing body, showing tits.
Yeah, no, no, no. Here's my thing with liberation, right? I think that as black people, we've gotten to a point where liberation takes on this fantasy land ideation, like, oh, liberation is being able to fly out of your body and experience the world as a ghost and shit like that. Like, that's the kind of stuff that we got fed for a long time, right? So then when somebody asks you about liberation, you don't start talking about the concrete things. Like, liberation would be like being able to be creative because all of my work is done for me and I can do whatever I want to do. I'm actually liberated to actually concretely do something that's liberating. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can go to another country and give out thousands of pounds of food and not worry about my bills at home because I'm actually liberated. Like, I don't think we should be cheapening liberation down to shaking your ass. You can do that shit liberally in the shower and then, put your clothes on and go about your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why it's so liberating, be sexualized and everything. However, I think that a lot of people, especially black people, I think we are, even we talked about misjudged by the fact that we have these ideas in our mind about what we think liberation is, what we think, manhood is, what we think womanhood is. And really, a lot of times, like you were saying, Logic, it's somebody kind of pulling the strings. Well, I want you to shake your ass, and you liberating yourself by shaking your ass before they tell you to shake your ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? You harping and you jumping on the dude, and you want to fight this dude because he called you gay, and like, you're not gay. You got your shit together. It's not a big deal. But some men are like fine tuned. If somebody even intimates or suggested in a little way, like just jokingly, they ready to actually fight and lose their damn life over the situation. It's not that serious. You know what I'm saying? You can be a man without going through all of that.
All right. Thank you for that. Brooklyn Honcho wants to know what Miss Ravioli has to say, and I do too. I'm curious. Miss Ravioli, is this liberating?
Um, it could be for some of the individuals. I don't think that there's anything wrong with twerking per se, but please understand I used to work in a strip club, but everybody is different. Everybody's different. Everybody that is twerking or freeing themselves is doesn't have the same mindset, if that makes sense. Like, some people um are headstrong and they can do it and move on, but some people kind of fall into traps, like, like, people will come on to them, or I don't know, as far go so far as to rape them, but there are other people that that's not an issue for them. They really are being free. It really depends on the person. And as far as like the
Mhm.
children, um every child is different. So the way that they carry themselves when they're dressed, as for young ladies, when they're dressed in um clothing that is not covering their entire bodies, it's all up to them and how they handle themselves when they're being approached by the, what did you call the men? The D, what did you say? The one,
It's an older New York slang, derelict, like a
the
derelict.
derelicts. Yeah,
Mhm.
when they're approached by the derelicts. Not everybody can address that properly, if that makes sense. But I'm all about being free.
So you raise a good point. I think it could be liberating on a personal note, but
Mhm.
to call it like women's liberation, I think it's kind of that's a slippery fucking slope. But Mimi,
Miss Ravioli. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
same question.
Oh, I was gonna say, Miss Ravioli, you said so many wonderful things, but my biggest takeaway was I never thought I'd hear you say you worked at a strip club. Like that's, I want to get into that one day. That's pretty amazing.
Oh,
I was just a I was just a bartender and a waitress.
I'm shocked that that would be something that you would have considered in your lifetime. But all right.
I pretty much
Yes.
had the same experience that you had when you were in the strip club. I mean, I understand that my, what did you call it? My lenses were not the correct lenses for that environment. And I did not understand why one particular gentleman kept asking me, why was I there? Like, why are you here? The gentleman had also taken me to someone's home that was not his home, and it was a lady's home. And I was like, oh, okay, I need to leave because this is not your house. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, she's out
Got
of
it.
town. That's not appropriate. But that's where I was, you know, where
Miss
people
Raviola,
were doing
that
other
that
things.
that was a wild turn, and that
Yes.
was
Yes,
wild.
it
I did
was.
not expect that story to go there.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
all right, we gotta
Um,
wrap up. But go ahead,
no.
Mimi. Go
But
ahead.
yeah, no, to wrap up, I think that it is a form of liberating liberation. Sure. I really like how Schoolboy rounded it up because what I've heard from Schoolboy's sentiment is liberation is just of having the freedom of choice to do what you want, how you want to do it. So whether it's I have enough money to donate to schools in South Africa and still be able to pay my bills, I feel liberated doing that. Or I want to be able to twerk on camera with my girlfriends on TikTok, so Brooklyn Chancho can get stimulated. Like that's I'm free to make that choice too without any repercussions from external sources or internal sources for that matter. So yeah, it's a form of liberation, but like leave us alone so we could do the other liberation stuff too.
All right. Nigel says you're going around Logic's question, Mimi, but she answers it for her in her opinion. She says, "But my daughter isn't wearing that until she's 18 and can handle being sexualized. Around me, she can wear age appropriate shorts. I prefer the top to cover her." Also, I want to give a quick shout out to my sister Jersey Jen, who said
Yeah.
those
Well,
were
wait.
adult.
That's
Oh,
assuming that 18, she's mentally ready to handle that. Like, no numbers are just those are arbitrary numbers. Like, there's
but,
people who's
but
21 and now you can drink. Like, that doesn't make you responsible enough to drink. But I
yeah,
hear what you're saying, and I probably did go all around.
but you know it's a general question. It's like a question that's kind of it's a hypothetical question. So you know,
Mhm.
hypothetical age like 18, she's basically just saying to the person is grown. Jersey Jen says those are adults dressing those little girls like that, shaking my head. And I would agree when it comes to the cheerleader thing. You know what I mean? As adults dressing those girls like that, it reminds me of even like those pageants that they put the even younger girls in. To me, that's disgusting. I don't understand the mind state of a parent who would want to put a gang of makeup and a mini skirt on a fucking damn near toddler and have them, objectify themselves at a fucking pageant. That's just ridiculous to me. And they
Well,
were like, hold
this
on,
past weekend
go ahead. I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
this past weekend there was a cheerleading competition like here in Atlanta. So there were tons of young women walking around, you know, not young women, but little girls walking around with their faces beat. And I mean, some of them practically had on nothing. I mean, the one girl may have had on something, but she had on a sweatshirt and it looked like that was all she had on because it was short, like it was just above the bottom of her butt, but it looked like she had on nothing. I mean, I
That's
even had to mention to some parents, do you know this is the number one spot for sex trafficking?
Now, if you was a man who said that, would you have be taking that? Nah, let me not go. But I think it's safe to say. you don't agree with that then because you had to even approach the parents. They were laughing at the ride the cock dance.
Everyone loves that.
Niger says yes to your post due to culture and times. Look at 90s music videos. They were sexy, funky, but now look at music videos. Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi. Look at Jamaican dance scene. It's sex on the dance floor, which is a good point with what I was trying to tell Steph. Like those cultures are very well prevalent in hip hop as well. You know what I mean, they're doing the same dances. Brooklyn Honcho said, oh, we kind of read that. He was looking for a gentleman's club. He settled for TikTok challenges. HB2N throwing shots at me.
No, I hate cats. Put blessings on my name. Why don't you bless me? Words are power. Say nice things to me. Okay.
There you go. Say nice things to her.
Brooklyn Honcho, let me know when you're trying to go to a gentleman's club. Isn't he in Atlanta?
I think he is in Atlanta now. He just brought a house. HB2N says, sounded like that guy wanted to put some ragu on Miss Ravioli. And they're laughing at that. With all that being said, I think it was a dope conversation we had, and I didn't fully give my feedback. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want to give my feedback on the question that I posed to the audience. I do think the black woman is over sexualized, and I do think that it's not a form of liberation to show your ass. I don't think it's a form of liberation. Let me put this into context too a little bit. When I was younger, Peace Catch says good morning to us. Peace to you, sister. When I was younger, I used to I was very vocal about this. I'm gonna not do the whole double-edged sword. I would call myself, even as a male, and say I was a hoe too. You know what I'm saying? Like as a younger dude, I was fucking every female who was allowing me in. You know what I mean? If they was allowing me in, I was testing the waters. I'm gonna be honest about that. You know what I mean? But I remember specifically that, especially when I was younger, I would do with the pimps. I'm sure Steph is familiar with this terminology. We'll call breaking a bitch or breaking in. Right? Is that a terminology, Steph?
Why do you say? I'm sure
It
Steph
is.
would know about that.
Because you do oftentimes like to use terminology used by pimps. So
my OG was a pimp, man. So I be knowing about some stuff.
Right. So are you familiar with the concept of breaking a bitch and all that?
I've heard it. I've heard it used.
Okay. I'm gonna go on a ledge and say that I did a junior version of that when I was young, and let me further explain. Right. More times when I was young, you know what I mean. Obviously, I'm dealing with women that's my age or a couple years older, things of that nature. Right. So we're all young, and at those ages. Nigel said it wasn't me, it was the Haitian in me. At those ages, you would have to convince women that it's okay to, as some people may think, to liberate themselves, to fuck. You know what I mean? It's good. It's okay. It's not going to be a bad thing if you want to fuck or whatever. And what I would remember is that sometimes women would change their tune. They would change their tune because I was so smooth at not judging them. Right? I wasn't calling them a bitch. I wasn't making them feel like hoes. I didn't have to talk crazy to them or anything like that. You're my friend. We like to have sex. Let's have sex. You know what I mean? It was a real mutual thing I was providing. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I remember in certain scenarios, there'll be women who really was in public. Oh, I would never suck a dick. Or I ain't fucking no nigga if he ain't my boyfriend and all this type of shit. And then after a few months with me, she's saying the total opposite in public. I like sucking dick. You know what I mean? And it's cool to fuck me and my homeboy. Yes, that happened before a couple times. You know what I mean? They were liberated around us. We wouldn't judge them. So if you want to fuck my homie too, you can fuck my homie too. We all gonna be cool and go to McDonald's after this. It's all good. You understand what I'm saying? That's how I was living as a young boy, right? But I bring this up to say, I say all of that to say this. I remember vividly women thinking it was their idea. Like you went from, I would never do this, or I'm not trying to do this, to all of a sudden you proud of it because you want to act like, yo, like, it was obviously something they was willing to do, right? But they had to, now that they had like the support system and shit, you know what I'm saying, of dudes that's not judging them, all of a sudden they're fake liberated. You know what I mean? And they want to come at it like they didn't have to, be told it's okay. You know what I mean? It's okay to be a hoe if you want to be a hoe. Now all of a sudden they're making it seem like it was their idea the whole time to be a hoe. When really, we were young men that was pushing the issue trying to get ass. You know what I mean? So I think that's the same thing happening on the adult tip. Like there are women out here that's like, let me say it first, or let me be loud and proud about being a hoe. So therefore, I'm not really a hoe. I'm just liberated. You understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense, or am I just ranting? Schoolboy?
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. We were on the same page earlier about that. It is what it is. It is what it is. But we all have that same level of cognitive dissonance. Like, I like let's say back in the day when I was broke, you know what I'm saying? When I was broke, whatever the stuff that I was doing then, I was justifying it like, yo, it is what it is because I need to get money. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays I look back and I'm like, yeah, I really didn't have to do that. But it sounded like a good idea at the time. You know what I'm saying? And there was justification there. Whatever it was. You know what I mean? So that's what people do. That's what people do. And like you said, we evolve on our thoughts. As much as we do evolve on our thought, it just is what it is. Like, we still got to own all the comprehensive elements to, who we are.
No doubt. Women on the panel, does that make sense? Or do I sound like an abuser, Miss Ravioli?
Well, I was going to say, how do you know you're not a victim in that situation? Because a lot of times victims believe the narrative that they've created in their minds. And how do you know that the young lady or the young women were not just playing and toying with you and telling you that they didn't like doing these things or saying these things in public just to have you gravitate towards them, which you did?
How do I know? I don't know what's in their head, ma'am. You're right. But I will
They
say
could have been.
the first
They
part of that statement is the same thing I'm posing to the women, right? Who feel like there's some form of liberation. It's like, how do you know that people aren't getting you to just be comfortable with these things? You dig what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
I just said, Miss Ravioli, don't judge Logic's younger self. I would
Schoolboy's
I'm
confused
not
look
judging.
is always hilarious to
a
me.
little Ando. Mia, did what I said make any sense? Or
Yeah, I thought it was a I am familiar with the term breaking a bitch. I have read, Prophet Iceberg Slim's book.
Mhm.
And I think that is probable. I agree with you. I don't know what was going on with their heads, but we talked about this on the last show because I made a point that like when men are trying to get sex, women we can't lead with what our fears are because a man will then justify those fears to soften the blow.
Right, you said
And
that
what
at
you're
our practice.
doing,
You said that at our practice. It wasn't a show. So you got
yeah,
to
and
reiterate it
huh?
for the audience. You got to reiterate it for the audience. They wasn't there. So because
Oh,
I
so
was
basically, when men are trying to get women in bed, like we can't give them our fears like, oh, I don't have sex on the first date because that makes me feel like I'm hoe, because then all he's going to do is justify your fear with some logic. I don't think no pun intended.
no.
Like
Real quick,
like
Mimi,
I,
real quick.
go
That is
ahead.
that you can. It can be pun intended because I feel like no, I don't feel like I know. That's how I got the name. I didn't get the name, but I roll with plenty of righteous men. Don't get it twisted. Peace to the gods and all that. But I didn't get my name for no god bodies. Just fun fact. You know what I mean? I got my name as a young boy talking to young ladies, you know what I'm saying? And I will always say in my shit, it's only logic. I said it so much that the logic part stuck. So yeah, it kind of got came from that. I will respond with logic. You're right. Go ahead. Your mic is on Teddy Riley.
Oh, well, look at that full circle moment. But men, it's up to what you have to decide, like why you do or you don't want to have sex with someone before, and like have your reasons and your why in your head before you announce it to a guy. And if you lead with fear, then he can combat that fear with some logic to make you not want to do it. I don't suck dick. Well, why don't you suck dick? Oh, because my mama told me it was nasty. It's not nasty. It's natural. Like, oh, well, I do love sucking. Like you migrate her from this point A to point B. I get exactly what happened. So I forgot what the question is, but I feel like I answered it.
No, you did.
roundabout.
You did. I just asked did it make sense what I was saying. You know what I mean?
That shit worked perfectly. I'm just playing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, I mean, it's up to us to be up on game, and that's when like strong men are in your lives, like to protect you not only just physically but mentally, so you know like how to handle yourselves in certain situations. And some women don't learn it at all. Some women learn it later in life, and some women who got like great male presence when they're younger, like they got that game. So
HB Toy wants to know this from the ladies on the panel. He said, when it comes to relationships, why do women hate logic? But when it comes to bank accounts, they understand it.
Because you
I
all
don't hate
lie.
like
One mic, Mia.
Okay. I don't agree with what Ms. Ravioli just said. Me personally, I don't hate logic. I'm actually in the process, and have been in the process for a few years of unlearning things and learning things full circle so that I can be like who I need to be in a relationship. So like even going back to some of the points like you made earlier, like I don't know if I'm a full feminist or a black feminist or whatever, but I burned my list, and it's just like, what type of woman do you need to be to like hold your own in a relationship? So I love logic. So keep challenging me.
Ms. Ravioli?
Because they lie. They lie. Men lie. And then they take the lies and try to make logical sense out of the lies that they've told. Now, if you were telling the truth and then coming to a logical solution, that would be perfectly fine. But when you are stacking up lie after lie after lie after lie, be it small, medium, or large lie, that's what we have a problem with. That's why we do hate that. Yes, we do. We hate it. We hate it.
Well, Miss Ravioli. So let's just go. Let's go into what logic the person just gave the story of. Like he used logic to get what he wanted. That's not him lying. That's him maybe being smarter on the turf to get what he wanted. The smartest person in the room is the one who's the most prepared. So what it sounded like was he was prepared to get what he wanted, and you got not you, but the woman got caught off guard until what he did. I don't know if necessarily like all men lie. I don't think that's fair.
Well, what I was okay. So
Not just
let
said
me
you.
choose my words carefully.
Ms.
What I'm
Ravioli?
saying is
Ms.
that
Ravioli,
it's the
you have a point. Yes, you have a point. So go hard in the paint right now. Go hard on the paint.
so I will change my selection of
Language.
words, and I will say men
Her
manipulate.
mic off. Let me shut her mic off. Don't backpedal. Don't backpedal. Go hard, Miss Ravioli. Go hard in the paint. I'm turning your mic back on. Go. Don't backpedal. Go ahead.
I'm not backpedaling. I'm being more specific. I'm doing a 30-day challenge and I'm doing well. So what I'm saying is you all manipulate. So I won't say lie, manipulate, and then you all are very deceptive. So while you were saying that story, I had a question in my mind, which was, what did the women think was going on in that relationship between you and each one of those women while you were stating the statements that you were stating? Did they believe that they were just friends having sex with you, or did they believe it was something more? So maybe it's not a lie per se, but are you keeping it 100 or
Let me
however?
let me answer it. Absolutely. They felt that we were friends and they were right. And I'm still cool with most of them. The majority of them. I'm still cool with them. Like we're cool. Like that, like they come to my events, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? We're friends. We
I
just
would need to hear it from the females.
I might could arrange that.
Yes, I would love for you to do that.
You might can arrange that. Sugar Shay says good vibes right now. Or good. Thank you, Sugar Shay, for being on the check-in. Jersey Jen says, I get my advice from my brother Logic, not young Logic, married Logic. And Naja says, it's being deceptive, Mimi, whether you're lying or using something truthful to manipulate a situation. It worked in Mr. Logic's favor.
I
And
agree. I just also agree that words mean things. They have definitions for a
Oh,
reason. So lie is not the right word, but manipulation could particularly be the right word. And most words have double context. So like you can manipulate a situation to inspire motivational speakers manipulate situations to inspire people. That's beyond what we're talking about. But words mean things, so I'm always gonna check that diction.
Jersey Jen
and
says, men and women manipulate each other. Good point.
and you can manipulate with a lie. That can be done as well.
Okay. Like a great quote from Players Club. You got to use what you got to get what you want. And
There
Lord
you go.
Miss Ravioli is buck dancing. Now, I mean, she didn't
That's
really
right.
she didn't backpedal all the way. She just changed one word. I'll give her that. Let me just say this. I wanted to say it a little earlier while we had a little bit more people in the room. We had a comment earlier. I said, "What happened to yesterday's show?" So you guys, that was actually the person who's new to the channel who asked that question. Everybody else who is salute to, I forget the name. It was I Trail Latrell, I think it was, and they literally knew. They even left a comment. Salute to you for the new subscription. So what I wanted to say to everyone is, yesterday I made a call. I made a call to not do a show. I was not 100%, and as you guys know, I'm the moderator and the producer of the show. So I didn't have the luxury. We don't have the luxury up until yesterday to have a show when I'm not 100, because I don't get on the mic if I'm not 100, because I don't want to have a half-ass show. A lot of you guys know that, and I spoke about this to the audience plenty of times in the past. So we didn't have a show yesterday because of me. I made a call not to have a show because I was not at 100. My audience already knows if I'm up late editing or anything like that, we won't go live. But the good news is that the majority of the team wants to go live, even if I'm not 100. So we have Mimi F Baby, who agreed to moderate the panel in my absence, and StepGotJokes, who agreed to produce the show in my absence. So salute to them for being strong team players. Laurel says, homie lovers. Exactly. They're my friends, Miss Ravioli. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are my homegirls. You dig? You know?
Okay.
And my
Make
home.
sure you take your bladderwrack, your Irish sea moss, and all the other things, your
Tell them,
elderberry, so you
tell them,
can be 100.
tell them your list. Tell them your list. You got a long list of routes people should be taking.
Ashwagandha, bladderwrack, raspberry leaves if you have fibroids, ladies, beetroot, chlorella, green power B plus, Irish moss powder, matcha green tea if you need to perk yourself up, spirulina, triphala, wheatgrass, elderberries, moringa leaf, burdock root, nettle root, and sarsaparilla.
And there
The
you
last
go.
three will break down the mucus.
And also, I want to put out there, if you want to, explore your alchemy skills, you could take some of these herbs. You want to be careful about all the herbs you mix, but you could take some of them, like I was telling Schoolboy the other day, and you can actually extract the properties from the herbs using overproof alcohol. So you can kind of make a hot toddy out of alcohol that's infused with some of these herbs. You know what I mean? So Miss Ravioli, I believe she has a list of these herbs on her Instagram. Definitely check her out. Sometimes she goes live and wows the fuck out and play in traffic. She was doing that, I think, yesterday. She was playing it. What was it, yesterday or Monday? He was playing in traffic in Atlanta. It
It
was
was
Monday,
2 days ago.
2 days ago. She
I
was
was
playing in traffic.
safely on the shoulder
No, she was
of
playing in
the
traffic.
highway.
Yeah, she was playing in traffic. Anyway, I appreciate and respect this panel. Like Just One Love says, love the panel. Great way to work. Absolutely. Brooklyn Honcho, all that healthy stuff in the stone as you go outside. That's when you catch the rashes and hives and everything else, because your body ain't used to no dirt no more. Go outside and play. So everything in moderation. But I do think a lot of these herbs will keep your immunity and your body just in general functioning. I don't think they're the cure to corona or anything like that, but there's things that can keep your body functioning so you can fight it off. You know what I mean? With that
I
being,
have not been sick.
I'm happy for that. I'm definitely happy for that. With that being said, I want to thank my co-host for the day. We all stayed later than we were supposed to. Schoolboy, thank you. Steph got jokes. Salute to V. She had to go early, but salute to V. Miss Ravioli, and of course, Mimi F. Baby, also known as Mia. And I want to send a special shout out to the audience. You know what I mean? We really appreciate you guys pulling up. And, we took, what was it, like a month and a half off? You know what I mean? And you guys came back for us, and we really appreciate y'all. We're not going to let you down. So salute
Can
to
I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Ms. Ravioli.
I want to thank Mimi for making me better, because a part of my 30-day challenge is to perfect my communication skills, and that is in the personal development part of my goal setting. So thank you for telling me to change the word lie to something better.
Ms. Ravioli, what's good for fibroids again?
The raspberry leaves. If you buy raspberry leaves and you crush them down with like the mortar and pestle that you use in chemistry class, you could, this one right here, that's raspberry leaves. And you can put them in the capsules, get empty capsules and crush them down. I take 2 every day.
Ms. Ravioli, you can't be touching your pills before you wash your hands. You got to wash your hands.
I have alcohol right here. So my hands, it's 91% alcohol.
All right. And Miss Lorvell says Miss Ravioli needs her own show so we all can get healthy and sad at the same time.
Say it again, Lorvell.
So we can hear about her talking about herbs and Lucifer. That day will come. That day will definitely come. And it can start with her having a segment on this show. So you need to work on your segment. Let's start there. How about that, Ms. Ravioli? How you feel about
that? Whatever works. I'm moving in forward steps towards my goal.
Right. Nigel said that's Bacardi 151. That's a rum. So you can use a rum or whiskey. You can use a rum. Wait, hold on. You can use a rum for what I was saying earlier. You can use a rum, a whiskey, or like Everclear, which I believe is a vodka. Those are the 3 things you want to use for a hot toddy that still has some sort of health benefits to it. And Everclear is like the strongest one you're going to be able to extract the plant with. And of course, whiskey, there's a few whiskey brands with overproof whiskey and a few rums as well. My favorite one is Rand Nephew. Broken Honcho says Ravioli and Honcho should be the name of that show. We'll see what happens. Honcho, you need to pull up too, man. Come back on the show, you know what I mean, sometime. But once again, I want to thank my panel. I want to thank all the audience. And you heard it here first. From now until the 100th episode, because right now we're in the 62nd episode in total, but the second episode of season 3. From now until the 100th episode, we shouldn't be missing any days because we have commitments from Steph and Mimi to hold it down on the days where I have to either work late or handle family business. So thank them for that. Thank you in the audience. Since I got the new computer up and running and I think I got the volume shit under control, we're going to get up out of here playing some Mr. Motherfucking Esquire. Salute to the homies again. Appreciate everybody. Look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow morning. This has been the Morning Rant.
Fire, nigga. I'm on fire right now, fuck, nigga. I had the biggest comeback, nigga. Niggas thought it was over with for me, nigga. Y'all tried to count me out, nigga. I ain't forgot about that shit. Y'all niggas think I forgot, nigga. I ain't forgot about none of that shit. So I'm back with a chip on my fucking shoulder, nigga.
Wrote this with my eyes closed, or rose in Moscato. Intuition, inner visions, flow from out the capo. Niggas ask me how I made it, I begin if I know. I just went with my soul, and the rest just follow. She's a good girl, fuck that bitch, I'd rather deal with Dollar. Say no to cash app, I ain't tricking, bitch, you must be psycho. But I'm prone to lie though. Just don't tell all my bros. Ice roll gelato in the Bronto, so I got the sky closed. Damn, it's raining, grab my cane and pass my Prada poncho. The boots was leather with the tattoos, those the Randy Machos. Goggles, Ferragamo, condos big as Costco. I popped the rhino, then she swallowed like it's Mr. Sacco. Mirror, mirror, who's the illest? Please don't tell me I know. Mirror, mirror, who's the realest? Wait, don't tell me I know. Mirror, mirror, who's the rarest? Please don't tell me I know. Modern life like Rocco, but I still pray to Shango. Mirror, mirror, who's the illest? Please don't tell me I know. Mirror, mirror, who's the realest? Wait, don't tell me I know. Mirror, mirror, who's the rarest? Please don't tell me I know. I devour my goals, and that's word to Gaucho. Rebel, outlaw, reckless, vato, ghetto, desperado. Aim the Draco, eating tacos, take your breath like Tyclos. Adjacent to Van Gogh, I'm chasing my shadow. The pain is the shackle, embrace it for battle. In the gym for 7 weeks, I feel like Boris Kojo. I mean Cujo with a new hoe, sober watching Kuso. With my old hoe, I forgot I fuck my hoes in duos. Fofo throws in 2 hoes, loopholes Albert Pujols. That piece of coupon for designer, Gucci coat was 2-tone. School old Parasuco, shoot like Tony Kukoc. The Jama Sanson, no Delilah, put that on my tombstone. Mirror, mirror, who's the illest? Please don't tell me I know. Mirror, mirror, who's the realest? Wait, don't tell me I know. Mirror, mirror, who's the rarest? Please don't tell me I know. I devour my goals, and that's word to Gaucho.
Go ahead, man, shoot it.
Alright, hey yo, listen man, this is London Brown. I'm calling in, I want to check in, and I just want a strong shout, man. I just want y'all to know, man, the best way to get to know somebody is to show them who the fuck you are, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really, really getting to know a lot of y'all, man. Really. So don't hide, you know what I'm saying? Stay up, stay tight, stay real, and I'm squaring back. Brooklyn.
Yeah. I got it. Yeah, turn my vocals up a little bit. Smidge. Yeah. I was a runt chasing pigeons up in Vaughn King Park. I used to fall, Big Mama would dust my knees off. Oshkosh tees, scuff my aqua green 5411s, chasing old shit girl of black ink. Her hair clicking and twist with barrettes and beads. Bubblegum eyes and my Ninja Turtles ice cream chillin'. Sitting on about 5 cent thing. Back when $100 felt like a gazillion. Crack valves clogging up the sprinklers in the park. The blissful ignorance that make it think it's old New York. Walk through streets like I hopped out of a time machine. Cause y'all see things how they are, and I see them how they used to be. Knock down the projects, paint over the murals. Find a nigga for pouring Hennessy out for his heroes. Black man's a nomad without collective growth. So master say you gotta lead, that mean your black ass gotta go. Sankofa say look to the past to find out wisdom. Seeds of our ancestors replenishes intuition. That's how I wrote this lyric. I know Nanny, Jamel, and Uncle Kwame, you're listening. I'm guided by the spirits. Visions of the future that's reflected by the past. If we only knew our mistakes, then I kick us in the ass. Maybe I'm getting old, or maybe I'm too dramatic. We greet each other as God, now we call each other savages. That's some backward shit, all the fast and flip. Lynched on a cell phone camera like on plantations. When they would whip a man for his kids to see. Cut his dick off and mix it in with the pig feet. Subconsciously weaken the men in the eyes of their queen. She said you can't protect you, so how you gonna protect me? Shit is deep, I often ponder what Marcus Garvey would think. A nigga screaming world star while they swung from a tree. Mirror.
Thanks.
Uncles was all God body. Had names like Infinite, True God, Saladin, and Born Knowledge. Bombing in the streets, wild kamikaze. Buck the heat, I would watch him like war wounds for drug beat. Twist the cap off his old English with his teeth. Isaac Hayes by the time I get the Phoenix on repeat. Uncle Pop, Coney Island legend, Bing Monster, Black Panther 97, went to war with the Aryans. Killed the chicken with his bare hands, plucked it and balked it, defeat the famine. He was only 11 then. Man before his time, dunked the ball when he was barely 5'9". All city in 3 sports, but MVP with the 9. Robbed the corner store, take the surveillance tape. We would watch it in my crib like NBA players on game days. Sunday when you got knocked, I remember how much I cried. You home now, I'm still writing this with tears in my eyes, cause you my idol, no words define your legacy. You taught me to see the best in me. Swaggy like my Uncle Flex, articulate goon. How many gangsters in BK came through Big Bro game room? I was still your wallabies, they was too large for my feet. Guess leathers are icebergs like I worked at S&D. Knuckle game legendary from Allenwood to Danbury. Cheesecakes from scratch, flash cash cause it's necessary. See so much of you in Heron and Glow. And all our issues killing me, I just thought you should know. It was growing pains and I know there's nothing that you don't know. But I still gotta be me, gotta follow my soul. Scratch that, my Uncle Mark, my heart, the reason I started rapping. I was a baby, he would let me take vinyls and scratch it. Brownsville warrior, hustles, he ran through all of them. Plate in his head, bullet fragments still in his abdomen. A true survivor, few was lava. Koki, my little brother, forever I got him. I could go on and on, but my words too strong for this song. Thought I should look away, but I'm caught up staring too long in black mirrors.
Okay, I want everybody to know this is King Sean Go. I'm the uncle of Pop, known as Esquire. And I want you to know that I'm a fish king. You cannot drown a fish. And no matter what you do in this world, there will always be thunder and lightning, and we always hit our target. Maybe not every time, but when we do hit, we hit with both barrels. And we're gonna keep gouging till the last child on earth. Ashe.
Ashe. I like that. That was good. That was amazing.